action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass in California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
I got to start with a confession. I know it's not considered good form around these parts to pull for the Warriors, but I got to tell you, I can't stand the Houston Rockets.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Ime Udoka has that scowl. Dylan Brooks has that scowl. And Fred Van Bricklayer has that scowl. It's like, all right, you're tough. Shut up and make a shot. You know, they're kind of posers with them.
You can't say you're pulling. It's like saying you're pulling for the Lakers around here. You can't do that. Like the Warriors?
Yes.
Like I would want any team to win other than the Warriors.
I can't stand the Houston Rockets.
But you can pull for Draymond Green?
I'm pulling for his team. I want his team to win.
Tell him, Jay, stop.
Like I said, I know that is not accepted around here.
That is not accepted. I'm just telling.
Watching the game last night, you know, we had been talking about that last week. Who you pulling for? And I just realized I cannot pull for the Houston Rockets. My goodness.
Well, you got different take than I do, obviously, because I hate the Warriors more than anything. I get a text today at 12:38 from Chris Mullen. Drapes, you okay? And they got a picture of me laying on the couch at the NBC studios. And then Bonte with the smiling emojis. And then Bonte outside of Golden One Center. He said, Beam Team, ? Is it still lit? ? So I can't. I just can't.
I get that.
I can't. Give me the Rockets. Give me Sac State. Give me Stanford. Whoever it is going against Golden State. I need them to beat the Warriors.
It's kind of funny now that the Kings are out and playoffs have begun. I think new allegiances are starting to form or maybe just resurface. Like, not to call Jay out here, but he posted this. Can't stand watching the Celtics, right, Jay?
Oh, yeah, Jay.
Can't stand them. They're boring.
What's wrong with the Celtics, Jay?
I want to get in trouble.
Woohoo!
With the FCC.
Oh. You don't like their style of basketball, though?
Nah, you know what? I'll say this. And I posted this.
Yeah.
Earlier on in the season. They just have some lineups that are not exciting. There's some things of the team that I just can't get on board with. I like their head coach, though. I like Ime, too. I'm an Ime guy.
Yeah, me too.
Besides the fact that he lost Nia Long, but that's a whole other story.
Right. He fumbled that.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about like Roger Craig at the goal line for all the marbles. But you know what? And I'll use Derrick White as an example. And I know you're a Derrick White guy, right, Drapes?
Oh, yeah.
Derrick White, and this isn't a shot at him. He's a good ball player. But I think he's getting way more love than what he deserves. He's the fifth best person on the starting lineup. He's playing with Tatum. He's playing with Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis.
Drew.
Like you should be good. It's nothing else is happening for you.
Jay,
Drew Holiday. Yeah, but
Team USA.
Because nobody, and that's my point. Is if he was on any other team, come on, man. How all of a sudden he get the Boston and now he's yes, he is.
Yeah, this is what Jay posted. Maybe you saw it. Follow him at JRJ Show. JRJ Show. The Celtics may be the most boring championship caliber team ever, and the Magic don't have a chance in the series. Turns channel.
Turn it off.
You couldn't even watch them yesterday.
Couldn't even watch. I tried to watch like the first quarter. I watched the first half. And then, Paolo and them thought they were going to get it up. And I believe they were up by 1 or 2 at halftime.
Yeah.
But that was fool's gold, man. That's like going to Knott's Berry Farm paying for that little fool's gold. That wasn't real, man. You know, we come from the land of 49ers around here. We dig up real gold. And so I knew that was fake and phony and fugazi. It's just for Derrick White gets all the spectacular situation and news, and the dude's not even, he's the 5th best guy on the starting lineup.
Jay, that sounds like haterade, man.
It is. No problem.
He admitted.
Yeah, no doubt. Because this is the thing. If you put him on Orlando, man, nobody cares about Derrick White. And it's tough because I don't want to disrespect Derrick White. Derrick White is a good ball player, but I'm just saying he's getting all kind of accolades and all kind of love because no one, when you're looking at the whiteboard, no one cares about Derrick White.
But not everybody would be such a good fit there. So he deserves most of the credit, but so does Brad Stevens for recognizing they got him from the Spurs, right? The Spurs didn't even really want him.
Yeah.
It's like, he don't really fit here.
Because he wasn't balling.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you got Drew Holiday next to you.
He's an Olympian.
Man, the dude doesn't even stick. And then this the other thing. He gets all the love for being great defensively. He doesn't even stick the best defensive player.
Jay, come on, man.
He wasn't. He was sticking Wendell Carter yesterday. Come on, man.
Dude, you know the size advantage Wendell
Corey
has?
Joseph. Corey Joseph was sticking Porzingis. I mean, was sticking Tatum.
Jay, that's just being a hater. That's all.
I'm just saying, man.
Derrick
I know
White,
you come from Boston.
I'll tell you what, we could use a Derrick White.
I guarantee he come over here and we're gonna be highly disappointed, like we've seen a bunch of guys. We think Derrick White could be the savior.
George Hill 2.0?
Right.
2.5.
That's messed up.
And a half.
That's messed up. Like, he's what we're hoping Devin Carter turns into.
Nah, I got higher stakes for Devin Carter.
You smoking over there, Jay. You smoking.
Yeah, I got higher stakes.
You
for
smoking.
Devin Carter.
Come on, man.
To me, it's funny watching the playoffs and then finding out how I feel about a certain matchup that I didn't know I was going to feel that way about. Like, obviously, I'm not a Laker fan, but I was so excited to see what Minnesota did to them on Saturday night. That was awesome.
So hold on.
Yeah.
You rooting for the Warriors?
Yes.
But the Lakers.
Well, I'd never root for them. I didn't think I'd be rooting for them, but I was just more excited than I thought I'd be about watching what Minnesota did to them on their home floor.
Yeah.
That was delicious.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch any of the games this week, really. And so I just was keeping up with the score.
Yeah.
And
what was you doing?
I got life, big fella.
I understand that. We do got a team. We do got
what I do. I golfed on Saturday.
Oh, man, you could have had the phone on, a tablet on for golf.
I golfed on Saturday. What else I do Saturday? Oh, and then I had the kids for a little bit. Then I went out in the streets a little bit.
Okay,
I was moving and grooving, big fella.
Wiggling.
I was moving and grooving. And so
celebrating that 50th.
Yeah,
all month.
All year. Trust me on that.
Continues.
Trust me on that. Oh, I got some breaking news here.
Breaking news, does it require the sounder?
All right, sure. Yeah. I think so. Play the
Are you
sounder.
sure? Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, man. All right, man. Let me go to it.
When it breaks,
We have it first.
it's Sacktown Sports breaking news.
And I guess, let me just say the news. The NBA held their tiebreaker today.
Yeah.
For the draft picks.
Right.
And the Sacramento Kings won a tiebreaker with the Atlanta Hawks. That's good news because, Whitey, if one team jumps up, there's a possibility we can move up. If Atlanta jumps up, so if we
13th pick right now,
13th pick,
winning that, okay.
Yeah. So if Atlanta jumps up, we're guaranteed. Now, if we were in the 14th selection, we need two teams to like.
But if someone jumps up, we go further back, don't we?
Yeah, that's what we want because we want our pick. Is what I'm saying. That's good news to keep in your pick. If we were 14, we would have zero chance unless we were the ones to jump up.
I think you got it in reverse.
You think so?
Yeah.
Tell
I
me
think
how.
it's if Atlanta moves up. Well, I'm trying to say how you say it. It's in reverse.
If Atlanta moves up,
yeah,
we drop back, right?
Yes.
Because the team that Atlanta jumped would have a worse record than us. You know what I mean? So we would slide back to 14 is what I'm saying. And so if we were 14th, I guess we would just keep it. So that's the breaking news. You take it how you want. How about that?
Yeah. Because it's top 12 protected.
Yeah. So right now we have the 13th best odds to get the number 1 pick. 0.8% lottery odds.
What happens if the Kings really get the number 1 pick?
Dude,
Cooper Flag, baby.
I want all the naysayers, the doomsdayers to keep their mouth shut. They can't weigh in on
the
this.
draft.
Carmichael Dave in the morning, you can't even speak on this.
What are the naysayers saying that you don't want them to say?
Because when I brought it up, everybody's like, Drapes, you ain't been around long enough. The Kings never win anything. Good things never happen to us. So when it does, don't be like, no, you didn't think this was going to happen. You didn't think our team could get this lucky.
One shooting with him in the gym.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Half-court shots. You'll never make it. I'm leaving. Then the one time I make it, you're like, yeah, Drake, nah, you weren't there. So don't do that. Don't do that.
You know, they're probably not going to get it.
Probably not. But,
why do you been
but
negative?
You asked the question. What if they win the number 1 pick? And I said, the Carmichael Daves of the world, all those the Matt Georges of the world. Nah, y'all can't come to the draft party. You're not invited to the draft party. You're not invited.
All right. We come back with a look at who's in the most NBA playoff trouble already and why these playoffs, watching them, hurts a little more for Kings fans than it probably should. Next, Drive Guys on a Monday. Sacktown Sports, right back.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SacktownSports.com.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531. 808-2531.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
We got 2 playoff games tonight. Knicks and the Pistons, and then, Clippers, Nuggets, Drapes. What a game 1 that was. Amazing game 1. Denver in overtime prevailing. What a series it's going to be.
Yeah, that's going to be a great series. 510 to Jay. Trey says, so you saying, Jay, you went and won Derrick White on the Kings? He embodies everything you would want in a 3-and-D shooting guard. What's not to like? What's not to like?
I just don't think he's as good as what he is. I think he fits. He's one of those guys that fits perfect on the Celtics. We've seen what he was on the Spurs.
Okay.
I just say it like that. I think he's the 5th best starter on the Celtics. I think he's overblown for what he does. He gets a lot of love defensively. He doesn't even stick the 1st or 2nd best defensive player, and he's supposed to be the defensive guy. They got Drew Holiday sticking a power forward. How'd that work? But you're bigger, you're longer, and you're supposed to be the almighty defensive player that you are. I think he fits great in the system with the Celtics because he's not a focal point. That's all I say. I think if he becomes – so my thing is this. I think if he moves to another team where he's the 2nd or 3rd focal point, we won't even be talking about Derrick White.
Well, but here's the thing about Derrick White. He is the kind of player you need to win championships. We've seen Aaron Gordon as the number 1, number 2 on a championship or on a team.
Mhm.
It didn't look good. He goes to Denver. He looks great. Vucevic, DeMar, Zach. Like, there's a lot of guys, if they're the number 1 or 2, their team isn't going to have success, haven't had success in their career. My thing with Derrick White is
he's the 5th, though.
He's
the 5th.
You could argue he's better than Drew Holiday at this point.
Come on.
At this point right now, you could argue, hey, put it out to the people.
Did the Celtics win the championship without Drew?
Come on, Jay. That's one player. How about you
and Porzingis too?
I want to put this out there to the people because I'm not the arbiter of NBA basketball information. I'm saying at this point in their career, right this second, listeners, Drew Holiday or Derrick White. I may be wrong. I could be wrong. But Derrick White is damn good, Jay. That's disrespectful. Derrick White is pretty good. He's not going to be your number 1. He's not your number 2. But
he ain't your 3.
All right, he ain't your 3. 4. That's not true. You could argue he's the 4 right now. You could argue that. Look at the numbers. The numbers suggest he's their 4th leading scorer, not Drew Holiday.
You want to hear something really dumb?
Yeah.
This is from Bailey Bassett, Clutch Points. This is a trade proposal for Domas. I'm mentioning this because, this time of year it begins. Just some ridiculous nonsense people throwing out about, how about this trade? So you tell me if this isn't one of the dumbest things you've ever heard. Maybe I'm wrong. Spurs trade proposal for Domantas Sabonis. Again, this is someone saying, maybe this will happen. It's not anyone in any way suggesting they've talked about this. Spurs receive Domantas Sabonis. Kings receive Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes, 2025 first-round pick, 2025 first-round pick from the Hawks, 2030 first-round pick swap, and 2 second-round picks.
So how many first-rounders is that?
That's 4 2 plus a pick swap plus 2 seconds plus Keldon Johnson and Harrison Barnes. Isn't that an awful lot?
Yeah.
Isn't that like if you're the Kings, if you could do that, you'd like.
Is it? I don't know. HB's just a throw-in.
You think they can get 2 firsts for Domas and 2 seconds and Keldon Johnson? If they can, and I'm wrong, let's do it. But when I saw it, I was like, there's no way the Kings are going to get that much from the Spurs.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
You may be wrong, but anything less than that, I don't know if I'm making a trade.
Okay.
If I'm Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're talking about an all-NBA guy.
Right.
A multiple-time all-star center, and I get, there's a knock on him. Like, can you win a championship? I don't know. That's tough. What is Domas's value? I guess that's the question we're trying to figure out right now.
Yes. I don't know. If you could get, and those are both, I think, in this crazy scenario, they're both this year, first-round picks this year.
Those first-round picks are this year.
2025.
Yeah. And what is it? Whose are they? Spurs first-rounder?
They're the Spurs send them to you, but they come one's via the Hawks.
Or is that ours that we get back from the Hawks? Is it?
Yeah.
Or it's through the Spurs?
Yeah. First-round pick, which was the Spurs, and one via the Hawks. I don't know. But the larger question
is. That's 2 lottery picks.
Yeah.
Right there. Keldon Johnson and 2 lottery picks.
Yes.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I didn't know it was 2 lot this year.
You think
in this
De'Aaron's going to go, let's bring in my buddy.
We know that's not happening.
Exactly.
And why would the Spurs even do it? They don't need it.
I don't
Why
know.
do people put that stuff out there like that?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. And I think we all know by now, you just got to be so careful of all of that talk this time of year.
Yeah. I'm still upset at Jay.
You mad at me, man?
Dude, Derrick. Drew Holiday's
that's why I
averaging
change the narrative
11 points per game.
Defensive stalwart, Drapes.
So is Derrick White.
Nah,
yes,
overrated.
He is.
Nah, man, he ain't sticking the 3rd or 4th.
Derrick White is averaging 5 points better than Drew Holiday, first of all. Let's look at
Derrick White is the best rim protecting guard, I think.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Since what?
Since
Jordan.
Michael.
Okay, y'all.
Jay, you guys start watching
White
the game,
is the best rim protecting guard.
Guard blocking shots at the rims. Like,
y'all gotta stop it.
Wow.
This dude, Derrick White, all of a sudden is an all-star, superstar, Hall of Famer.
Nah, nobody's saying that, Jay.
He's the 5th best player on his team, on the starting lineup.
Yes, that may be true.
He might be the 5th best player on the team.
He's the 4th leading scorer right now. That's all I know.
Yeah, but Drew Holiday isn't asked to score. He's he's got Tatum and Brown and Porzingis.
I
He
like
doesn't
Drew
need to
Holiday
do it.
more, but they're both.
And
really
and they probably got the 6th man of the year who took a leap this year. Drew Holiday
doesn't
said,
like him.
No, he's a baller though. He can play.
Yeah,
Peyton
Drew
Pritchard
Holiday
has
is
shown
taking
me something.
a step back as far as scoring. I'm just saying the Celtics didn't do nothing until Drew Holiday came. We can start there.
I'm gonna text Scal right now.
We can start right there. Scal ain't Jesus. What
I'm texting Scal.
What
Scal
Scal's
see him
supposed to tell
every
me
day.
like he Jesus?
He said, yeah, that's a former NBA player, Jay. Got his own radio show. Sees him every day.
Get him on, so I could.
Yeah.
Let me argue Scal. I feel like I'm at, but Scal knows talent. Scal knows Drew is better than Derrick White.
Scal supposedly discovered Cooper Flag.
Really?
Really? Oh, because he's up in Maine.
Yeah, because he's up in Maine. Like 5 years ago, he was on the Cooper Flag trade. And
What?
Yes. Yeah.
How?
Scal was like working out with him or something, doing something like that. Yeah.
Boston, Maine, right there.
Yep, right up the street.
2-3 years,
Yep,
2-3
yep.
hours. Yeah.
Yep.
Get Scal on. I feel Scal knows a good ball player when he sees one,
Right.
Drapes.
Right.
Right?
Are you saying Derrick White's no good?
No. What I'm
Okay.
saying, and that's why I said I'm having to argue someone that is a good ball player. I'm not saying he's not a good ball player. I'm not saying he's a top one. He's not a top 100 ball player. What I'm saying is he is the perfect fit for the Boston Celtics, what makes him look better than he truly is.
Mhm.
I think he fits their system, and it is spectacular in the fact of who he has around him. He's got Tatum, who's a top 5 guy. He's got Jaylen Brown, who's probably underrated, as we all see. He's also got dogs around him. He's got probably the best defender point guard in the league, best defending point guard in the league. And Drew's been around for a long time, championship pedigree. I thought he brought all what the Celtics needed last year. And Porzingis just tops it off. He's the 5th best guy on the starting lineup. How could he be that good of a great point guard when he's not even the 5th? I mean, he's not even a top 3 guy on his team.
I don't want to argue with you. I'm just clarifying your position. But I just, as you were saying there, I just looked it up here on the Ringer. They're top 100. Doesn't mean they're right. They have Derrick White 41st in the league.
Yeah, they tripping.
Tyrese Maxey
They
40.
definitely tripping. Come
Zion
on.
42.
All
I was
right,
trying to
man.
see
He's
where
better
my
than
guy,
Maxey, you said?
I don't say that.
Oh, come
They
on. That's
have
what Ringer
Maxey
got him?
just
Come on,
ahead of
man.
him. They have Maxey
Oh,
40,
man.
Derrick White 41, Zion 42, and I'm looking to see where my guy Drew Holiday is.
You gotta keep going down.
He's probably
And I'm a
80s.
Drew Holiday fan.
I am too.
Right.
Disrespect towards Drew Holiday is unfathomable. Disrespecting the 2-time champ like that.
Unfathomable.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, he's 66, right behind Fred Van Vliet.
And we saw what Fred was putting up last night.
There
Come
you
on,
go,
man.
There you go. Just
Disrespected Drew like that.
man. Oh, that's funny. I didn't know Derrick White got you so fired up, dude. Like
No,
that.
he got you fired up.
No, I'm just
I'm just
saying.
defending my position. I just honestly, he's a good ball player.
What about Austin Reeves?
Oh man,
It's
don't
like,
get me started.
now I'm trolling. Now I'm trolling you. Now-
Austin Reeves, come on, man. They're both the same
Now
guy.
I'm
They
trolling.
play with fantastic. This all I'm saying is this, and fellas, you tell me if Derrick White is asked to be, as you said, Aaron Gordon is 3rd, maybe 4th on the Nuggets. We can agree with that, depending on what MPJ.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He's 3rd or 4th, right?
All right. I give you
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No question.
maybe. Who else would you have behind him? Russ? Like who's better? Who's
I'm
better
with
than
you.
Aaron Gordon?
No. I'll give you Aaron
If you're
Gordon.
saying
Third
third or
fourth.
fourth,
Yeah.
like that's rock solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Derrick White, you're saying is 4th on the Celtics. He's better than Drew Holiday.
Yes.
He's better than Peyton Pritchard.
Yes.
All right, cool. We'll leave it there. I'm not going to ask nobody else. So if he's 4th, which means now he's getting paid. We need him to come and be on the Sacramento Kings as the 3rd best player. Who's the 3rd best player right now for the Sacramento Kings?
I don't know. That's a great question. Domas,
Okay.
DeMar. I don't know.
Okay, you taking Derrick White over them?
No, I'm saying you need him on a championship team.
I got
If
you.
if he's the 5th best player here in Sacramento, I will take that. That means we are competing for a championship. See, that's the problem, Jay. You're looking at the ceiling. I'm looking at our floor. Derrick White raises your floor. So between 3, 4, and 5, it's not big. That's the problem with a lot of teams. A lot of teams are top heavy.
Right.
Then you get to that 5th starter,
Right.
and it drops off the face of the earth. Not with Derrick White. Derrick White could be your 5th starter, your 4th starter, maybe even your 3rd at best. But he's that good where it doesn't drop off, is what I'm saying.
So I'm following what you're saying, but now I'm flipping it, Drapes.
Okay, go ahead.
So my flip of it is this. Derrick White is now, because of his time with the Celtics, because of his time at Team USA, is now getting ready to be looked at as a guy.
No,
absolutely he is. If he steps away from
for me,
but see, that's you though. We're talking about the NBA circles.
You're talking about come on, Jay.
If he steps away from the Celtics right now, Jay, he's going to get paid. He's going to be a guy.
What do you mean by that?
He's going to have to be a 2 or a 3 on somebody's team.
How much money are we talking?
This dude is all. If we're giving rookies $150,
but that's just the way the contract is.
That's what I'm saying. So what do you think Derrick White is going to ask for?
Derrick White's a $30 million guy
per year.
Easily.
So 4 for 120.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
With the new CBA, the way it's constructed, he's going to be the third best guy on a team at $30 million a year. If you take him and put him in Orlando, you take him, put him in Sacramento, you take him, put him on a better team. He's not doing what he's going to do. We need you to be better than what you are.
How about this, Jay? He's making 30, right around 30 right now.
Yeah.
And on the Celtics, because
on a perfect team, Drake.
Let's keep it real. Championship teams usually got to spend some money too.
Agreed.
So don't just look at the floor of the salary.
That's a very good contract.
Wholeheartedly.
Derrick White at 30 is a really good contract for Boston. By the way, someone couldn't believe I compared him to Jordan. I said as a shot blocker. This is from Rob Mahoney. Calling White one of the league's best defensive guards is almost too limiting, seeing as he might be the best shot blocker for his size in the history of the sport.
Yeah, Rob Mahoney, y'all been disrespecting Rob Mahoney the last 2 seasons, so I don't bring him in for your argument. Rob Mahoney, y'all been calling this dude a clown and everything for the last 2 years.
In this case, he's a big Mahoney guy today. It's a Mahoney Monday with the Drive Guys. Finalists for NBA awards have been announced. Yeah, and we'll look at why these playoffs kind of hurt to watch as a Kings fan more than they should. Next on Sacktown Sports.
Save $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 LT and RST 5.3 in stock at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. After all rebates.
And Maida Chevy still has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$12,750 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Australian 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Spring has sprung, and now is the best time to spruce up your home. Between spring cleaning and evaluating your home, it is the perfect time to reach out to the folks at the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. Jason Ross here, and I'm so glad we did. We reached out, and we're now about a month in to our brand new garage doors. Now, first off, we improved our curb appeal. They look great, and it's one of the first things people notice when they approach your home. A new, modern, stylish garage door can improve the overall appearance of your home, just like it did for us. Also, how about this for a nice benefit? The return of investment. A new garage door is high on the return of investment home improvement project list. It's one of the more cost-effective upgrades you can make to improve your home's value. Hey, see for yourself. Check out their products. Go to the showroom at 6756 Franklin Boulevard and ask about the Sacktown Sports Special. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Diamond Pacific Supply and Trex, Michelob Ultra, and Carl's Jr. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
It's the final days of the spring sales event. Drive home your new Honda before the deals and the new Hondas disappear. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop. Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Looking for fun for the whole family? Sacramento Rivercats Baseball has it all at Sutter Health Park. Enjoy exciting baseball, kids' activities, tasty ballpark treats, and more. Family memories start here. Get your Rivercats baseball tickets at rivercats.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sacktown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Just a very quick local baseball note here. We'll get back to the Kings and the NBA. Nick Kurtz has been called up by the A's. The A's are back home tomorrow at Sutter Health Park. And Nick Kurtz was drafted in 2024. So 9 months after the A's picked him with a fourth pick, he's expected to make his major league debut perhaps as soon as tomorrow. 9 months after he was selected, he's expected to make
on
his
the fast track,
debut.
huh?
Yeah, very fast track.
That is pretty.
Yeah.
Where was he at? AAA?
AAA
Okay.
Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, only if there's a problem, he plays first base and DH, and they got Rooker does that and Soderstrom does that, but they'll figure it out.
So yeah, what are they doing? Why make this move now, you think? Great question.
I don't know. Maybe one of the three, odd man out, Rooker, maybe they trade him. I don't know. And you can never have too much talent.
All right.
Maybe if somebody plays left field. But I think it's one of those things where, the way he's playing, it's like he's forcing their hand.
He's playing ballistic.
Yeah.
He's playing that well down there.
Yeah.
Big lefty, 6'5".
Yeah. So anyway, just a quick baseball note with the A's returning. You going to go out this weekend, maybe, Jay, to see the A's and the White Sox?
I might. I'm trying to figure it out.
Bruce Bochy going to be in town this week with the Rangers?
Yeah, I got asked for playing a tournament this Saturday, so I might get those tickets out.
I think the playoffs, to me, so far, including the play-in, have been harder to watch for Kings fans than the playoffs normally are because, let's face it, you got Domas saying we need a point guard. Yeah, and then you got Davion Mitchell played so well, Drapes. It's hard to watch.
My guy, Davion. I love it, man. I love seeing him succeed. He's found a home, I feel like, in Miami. They trust him out there. And what he did, what was it, Friday in that play-in game was truly tremendous, man. I love seeing him play. And
they lost yesterday, but I think he had 18.
Did he have 18 yesterday?
I believe he did.
Yeah, he's a good ball player, man. We dropped the ball on that. We fumbled the bag on that. But
restricted free agent.
Yeah, but we ain't got no money. I ain't got why he trying to,
You go,
man,
bro.
I'll just keep it real, man. It ain't happening. Exactly. And Miami's going to keep him anyway. They're going to re-sign him. So shout out to Davion, man. I love seeing him do his thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hard to watch, though. And then there's yesterday, I know Memphis got just disemboweled by Oklahoma City, but who had a good game for the Grizzlies?
Marvin Bagley. I forgot he was even on Memphis, to be honest with you.
Remember the last game of the season, he was 25 and 12 or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so Tyrese Halliburton, too. There's a lot of former Kings out there doing some big things in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why can't we have nice things like that?
By the way, in that OKC swamping of the Grizzlies, I guess at one point, I saw some of that game. One of my nephews is a huge OKC fan. So he was like, this is great. This is great. But at some point, Ja was on the bench and he was smiling. And so now you got that whole stupid thing. Oh, he doesn't care. He's a disgrace. They were losing by so many points.
Yeah.
What is he supposed to do?
Yeah. And the thing about it, they got down big quickly. So what are you supposed to, have a frown or a scowl for 2.5 quarters, nah, yeah, the people taking it. And it's just a second in time. You know what I mean? Like, who knows, like you said, what was happening at that time.
Yeah. Gracie Approved says, actually, Davion made it easier to watch the playoffs in the chat zone. And the way OKC played, I'm glad we're not there. Don't want any of that. I know a lot of Kings fans looked at it that way.
Well, it's what we feared, the worst case scenario is about to happen. Miss the playoffs and lose your pick. That was our worst case scenario, right? If you're Sacramento, and it's like, all right, if you make the playoffs, at least you can hang your hat on that. Or if you are bad enough, you'll be a top 12 team and you get to keep your pick. You can now, until we see how the lottery balls bounce, we can't hang our hat on anything.
No,
insult to injury.
Not unless Scotty P is able to work his magic and trade his way back in.
Has he been hired yet?
Not that I know of.
What the heck's going on with that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, I don't understand. Did you hear we changed our little jingle?
I noticed that.
You noticed that?
It was
yeah.
a relief. Yeah.
It was like, all right,
breaking.
They're finalizing.
They're finalizing an agreement. Yes.
Yeah. And so I can't wait till Scotty P gets on the job. He's going to have to work some magic, though.
Yeah?
He's going to have to do some things.
What do you think, though? What do you think his mandate will be? We want to stay, just kind of retool a little bit this roster, or you're going to have to, hey, we need a new direction with the whole thing. I think they're going to have to try to do what the Bulls did this year, where you can retooling and getting younger, and hey, they were still in the play-in, but I mean, they just really need to replenish with younger players and move off of some of the veterans who it didn't work out here.
They do need to replenish with some younger players, and you bring up the Bulls, and that's the, where, the Kings and Bulls are in two different categories right now, because the Bulls got some young talent. They got some young pieces. Who's our young piece? Davion? I mean, not Devin.
Devin and
Keegan
and Keon.
Yeah. Scott Perry's going to he's going to have work some magic hands. He's going to have to be David Copperfield out here, because if you make moves, let's say you trade some of our big name guys, what's their value? Are other teams really going to give you 2 first-rounders and a young prospect?
The problem, as I see it, I know we've talked about this, any of the big name guys that you think you might want to trade, there's just not going to be a huge market for them, right? You're not going to have like 5 or 6 teams like, yes, we want that guy, even Domas.
Right. That's a good question. I need to ask somebody, what's the market for some of these guys? That's because, and I go back to De'Aaron Fox too, what I said about him. Like, I wonder what his market was. Why did we take sort of, a lesser deal? Was his market as high? And so we need to get a gauge. Who's a good guy? Bobby Marks? Is he
sure
get a guy like that on? What would you think is the Domas's, or DeMar or whoever it may be, value around the league? Because Scott Perry's going to have to do something, because we don't have the cap space to even just, we got the mid-level exception. That's about it. Like, how do you improve this roster going forward?
Yeah. Speaking of cap space, not to go over the ground that we just covered there, but I was looking today again at the trade, the Davion Mitchell trade. So Davion Mitchell and Sasha, and it was like the 48th pick for Jalen McDaniels. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my,
hardly knew you.
Goodness.
But in their eyes, you don't have DeMar, right?
Well, wasn't that before that?
Was it?
At the time, we didn't know anything about. Now maybe they.
No, I think they had to clear the space, right?
I thought it was before they got DeMar. I'd have to double check.
No, they made the trade before, but in their mind, they were clearing the space to get DeMar. I think DeMar was part of their plan for a while. It wasn't just like once free agency. All right, let's I need to look at the actual trade and when it went down.
Yeah, I know it got them. Freed up some cap space. Whether it was because of DeMar potentially joining the team or not, I don't know. But it just seemed like they didn't get much for Davion Mitchell.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, because he wasn't a Mike Brown guy. Mike Brown's not there anymore.
Yeah. Here it is. Traded from Sac to Toronto Friday, June 28th. So just a couple of days before free agency opened up. Yeah, I think that was DeMar was their guy. How do we get DeMar? You make this trade. And so if you had to do it all over again, Whitey.
Yeah.
All over. That means you still got Harrison Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
You still got Davion Mitchell. Sasha Vezenkov. You still got him. What do you think?
Oh, I like the younger. The
Really?
DeMar DeRozan thing was, that was specious at best. That was risky from the jump.
Well,
here's a missing piece for us. Just close your eyes and cross your fingers, and
but the vibes were good when we got DeMar. We were celebrating.
You won the summer.
Is this revisionist history now?
No.
Is it?
It didn't work
because
out.
we didn't know Davion would look this good. And if we did have Davion, where's Davion playing right now? Who's he playing over?
He's your starting point guard, probably.
So Keon Ellis isn't playing
off the bench,
and Devin Carter's not playing at all. Then,
no, I got a nice 4-guard rotation. You asked me,
right.
All things considered. That's my answer. Right. What we know now. Obviously, we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. It's kind of. We also got to remember who our head coach was to start the season.
That's what I say. I know, because Davion and Mike Brown is like, okay, he's not going to play him.
Right.
So.
And our offense is totally different than Miami's. Miami puts the ball in Davion's hands. Sacramento took the ball out of Davion's hands. That's the big difference right there.
Mm-hmm. Hamburger Dad says, we couldn't get tomorrow without trading Davion. He says, I don't hate what they did. Sometimes when you try to hit a home run, you just pop it up. It's okay.
Okay, Hamburger Dad.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's a very mature way to look at it, right? You try things. Sometimes they don't work out.
And
live with them.
Everybody was happy to get rid of Sasha at the time too, And so back then, nobody was saying, why are we giving up on Davion? Nobody was saying that. Now he goes out and scores 18, drops 9 assists. The other night, last night for Miami, it's like, we should have kept him.
Well, just because they had so many, they had so many point guards, and now they have a knee, and it's like, what happened? They had all these guys, and they're pretty good. Finalists for NBA awards have been announced, and a couple of things stand out, and we'll look at those when we come back to Sacktown Sports Drive, guys.
Breaking: the Sacramento Kings and Scott Perry have finalized a deal for him to become the next GM of the Kings. Keep it here for up-to-date breaking Sacramento Kings news. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635. And you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Second baseman Zach Geloff, out with that fractured right hand, has started up baseball activity, including fielding grounders and throwing. He has been cleared to start a hitting progression, and the A's remain hopeful that he could return in early May. Ken Waldichuk, left-handed pitcher, out with that left elbow sprain, threw all fastballs in his last bullpen. He's targeting a return before the All-Star break. This injury report was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222, and visit them at calldowntown.com.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Rock the Bells presents LL Cool J.
So what you got Chanel on your feet? Hot sex on a platter makes the mission complete.
Live in concert. LL Cool J. Saturday, May 10th, the venue at Thunder Valley with DJ Z-Trip. LL Cool J. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss LL Cool J live.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states and situations.
Town Sports app.
Here's an interesting question from the Alan Stiles Show today. Should the Kings be interested in Jonathan Kuminga? Our buddy Alan Stiles says, yes, if the price is right and Kuminga is good with finding a role versus being a star. If he ends up being a star, cool. But he needs a lane, says Alan Stiles. Yeah, the Warriors beating Houston last night. Jonathan Kuminga is just not part of that rotation right now. And he's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's a restricted free agent. And so
Kyle Draper says Kings have no money.
We have no money to, like, what are you offering Kuminga? Kuminga's trying to get paid out there. You know what I mean? He's trying to get excess of $30 million. Like, and what do we have that the Warriors would want?
Well, you'd have to pay him so much that the Warriors wouldn't match.
Right. Yeah. But I'm saying sort of like how we sent Kevin Huerter to Chicago for DeMar, like he really can't do sign and trade, but sort of like that. Like you'd have to move out some guys. You'd have to move out a DeMar, maybe even more than that, a Zach, to even have the kind of money to sign Jonathan Kuminga.
Do you think that there's going to be any drama over Keegan and his contract? Do you think they're going to get that wrapped up quickly? I'd like to think everyone's going to look at it and go, yeah, all right, we'll get that done. He wants to be here. We need him. What do you think? What's your
I don't know. I don't know what Scott Perry, like if it was Monty and those guys, I'd say, yeah, it gets wrapped up quickly. I don't know what Scott Perry feels. And I don't know what Keegan feels. Was it you or Jay that sent the link about Keegan's?
I thought it was you.
Did I send that? Maybe I did. No, that was Jay. That was Jay sent it. In-depth look at Keegan Murray's extension. Let's say the Kings offer $5 and $150 or whatever it may be. It's $30 million. Keegan might look at that and be like, dude, I'm worth more than that. So does his camp think he's a $40 million a year player? So I don't know. I don't know. Or do they go into restricted free agency? You know what I mean?
It's a really interesting point you raised, because sometimes in sports you have a new GM and sometimes they don't feel the same way about the players they inherit. In some sports, I think in basketball it's different because you have fewer players, so each one in a sense is more valuable. But in some cases, a new GM will come in and just want to get rid of all the guys that aren't his.
Yeah, that's true. And somebody from the 916 says the Keegan experiment needs to be over.
What?
Yeah. I know you push back on that. You're not a fan of that comment.
What is the problem with Keegan? Is it just he's supposed to be averaging 20 a game and he's not? So he's useless. Is that
right?
I'm asking, is that what it is? He's not
a box scorer. He's not sexy on the box score. That's what I think.
And he appears passive sometimes.
Right.
To some. I mean, to me, he is an asset.
An asset to what?
He helps you get better, and he continues to improve.
Is he an asset to keep, or you mean an asset to flip at some point?
He's an asset, a valuable asset.
Okay, all right, all right. Yeah, that's yeah.
He makes me better. He's a valuable asset to me to have.
Is Keegan your fourth option on a championship level team, ideally, or third option? Like, what's his ceiling?
Third, but I still think it's hard to tell because of the teams he's been on here where he has not had the opportunity, except in glimpses here and there and flashes to show what he can do offensively. What did he average in college? 24?
24, yeah.
I think maybe that there's still that kind of upside there. I'm not saying he's going to average 24 a game in the NBA, but he can still be a consistent, like 18 a game,
18.
something like that.
And I think that's one of the things Scott Perry has to decide, right? Like, am I going to make room for Keegan to really develop and show his offensive game? We know what he can do defensively, but, he hasn't been asked to do a whole lot offensively, hasn't had the opportunity. So if you're Scott Perry, what's your evaluation of Keegan? Do you think you have, this guy, like you just said, could be an 18, 19 point per game scorer? And if so, how do I create room for him to do that? Like, it's not an easy job Scott Perry is walking into. He has a lot of questions he has to answer about this roster.
Yes. At least he, as far as we know, has had some time to work on it. We found some interesting audio from him. He did an interview only like 12 days ago, and King's Herald found it, and they had a link to it. So we're going to hear some of that today. Probably not right now, but we'll get to some of it. It's interesting because he talked about, well, here's how you build a team. It's like, ooh, we didn't know at the time when he said it. Like, he's going to be building the team here.
Oh, so, I didn't hear that part. I didn't get to that part.
He talked about the foundation and how you build the foundation and how you got to have identity and how important that is. So we'll hear some of that coming up here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really interesting considering that he's the guy. It just comes down to, when it comes to an identity, who's the one's going to be deciding what that's supposed to be? Is it him or is it being dictated to him?
Right. From up top. Here's one for you, Whitey, on the text line. 925 Keegan for Kuminga. I'm not contracts, but player wise, double thumbs down.
If I could get my toes up there, I'd do that.
Tell me why, big fella.
Kuminga has a certain way he plays. He needs the ball a lot. I don't know if you're going to get him. If you love him so much, you think you could build around him, fine. But otherwise, you may have some of the same issues with him that the Warriors had, where he wants to play more. He wants to have the ball more. Maybe he should, but I'm not willing to build my offense around him. And if I don't, it seems like he's not satisfied. Whereas Keegan, the good thing about Keegan is I know if I needed him to score more, I think he could. But if I don't need that and I bring in other people that are going to do that, I know he can do that too. He's proven that he's versatile.
I don't know how good Kuminga could be.
He's not a very good shooter,
right?
And I need shooting. Defensively, he's got some upside, but
I don't know. I don't know how good. I don't know what his ceiling is. He's shown flashes. He's had some big games against us. He's very athletic, good slasher to the basket.
He just moves differently.
Right.
You go, whoa.
Right, exactly. But on a championship team, if you're trying to, or is he putting up empty numbers on a bad team, on a Charlotte or something like that?
Yeah. Looking at the awards, because we have the finalists here.
Yeah.
Mark Dagnall's not even a Coach of the Year candidate. I guess that's because they were expected to do well.
Yeah, who is it? Who do you got?
It's Kenny Atkinson. And it's JB Bickerstaff who Kenny Atkinson replaced, and Ime Udoka. That's Mark Daigneault, not a candidate.
Everybody expected him. Not like you said. Everybody expected him to be good.
Rookie of the year, Zachary
because they were number one last year in the West, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I get it. Kenny Atkinson, JB Bickerstaff, Ime Udoka. Rookie of the year, Zachary Risache, Stephon Castle, Jalen Wells. One of the things that stands out to me is Dyson Daniels is up for a couple of awards.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
He's a Defensive Player of the Year finalist along with Draymond and Evan Mobley. And he's also an MIP, Most Improved Player candidate, along with Cade Cunningham and Ivica Zubac.
You know what's interesting about the Defensive Player of the Year and Draymond situation? I think I was talking to my son, and he said on NBA.com or something like a couple of months ago, Draymond was like 7th choice for Defensive Player. All of a sudden, because he went on his podcast, started talking about it, drawing attention to himself.
Yep.
Media members like, oh, okay. And now he's talked him his way into the conversation.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And, if that's what happened, bless him. Good for him. But it does make you go, wait a minute, what?
Who are the other finalists in that category?
For which one? Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels and Evan Mobley. And Dyson Daniels, as we said, also a candidate for Most Improved Player. 6th Man of the Year, Peyton Pritchard, Malik Beasley, and my guy, Ty Jerome.
Peyton Pritchard in the landslide, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So those are some of the finalists there. And then, of course, the MVP, Shea, Jokic, and Giannis. I just think it's Shea, and I'm a big Jokic fan. I heard today Carmichael, Dave, and J. Ross, and they were saying how it's got to be Jokic, or at least Dave was. I think Shea wins it, and I think he should win it, even though Jokic had an incredible year, because you have to consider, Drapes, as I know you do, what happens at the other end of the floor.
Right, 100%. You got to consider defense. I mean, if you just look at defense and standings, and I was having this conversation yesterday at a barbecue, I'm like, it's not even close. Like, to finish 16 games ahead of Denver, like, you're talking, I think they said OK season was what? The 8th best season in NBA history or something like that? Like with the 68 wins?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Both guys are deserving, but I'm going to give it to SGA because of the team success. And he plays on the other end as well.
Yes. All Scott Perry has to do for the Kings is what he did for the Knicks. He did a lot of really good things for the Knicks, and we'll tell you exactly what he did when we come right back. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Diamond Pacific Supply and Trex, Michelob Ultra, and Carl's Jr. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered FlexSteel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices. and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
It's the final days of the spring sales event. Drive home your new Honda before the deals and the new Hondas disappear. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Happy anniversary, Kings fans. It was on this date in 1951 that the Kings, Rochester Royals at the time, won the NBA championship.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
It was a long time ago. What, two or three cities?
Yeah, that's going back.
Before Cincinnati, before Kansas City, the Rochester Royals, 1951.
Different iterations. Yeah,
Yes,
that's going way
yes.
back. Yeah.
Who was on that squad?
Yeah, Smitty and the left-handed guy.
Smitty. I should look that up. Which way?
1951.
1951.
Let me look at it.
The roster probably was
You don't want to
loaded.
look it up too much because it might end up being in the quiz today, and I don't want to give answers away.
Dude, hey.
We're talking about it now.
I
Go
know,
ahead, Drake.
right? That's what I'm saying, Jay. Like,
Bob Davies was on that team.
was he going to be in the quiz?
Yeah.
Dang.
He might have pulled that away now.
Yeah. Red Holtzman.
Ooh, the great Red Holtzman.
Yeah, Red Holtzman was on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody else.
The 7-game series, I believe it was best of 7. Win 7 against the Knicks.
You know what's interesting about that time? I'm looking at it on Basketball Reference. Because the league was so new, their most experienced player, Paul Noel, was a third-year player.
Wow.
Everybody else was first, second, or a rookie.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, because the league hadn't been
It
around
hadn't
long
long enough to
Yeah.
have 8-year, 10-year veterans on the team.
Yeah.
All right, I won't look.
Yeah. So no, I'm gonna have to change it anyway now.
Just use the OT question.
That's it.
Is that what you're going to do?
That's
Okay.
all I have
All
to
right.
do. Yeah. So anyway, that was their today, the anniversary of their only NBA championship. There are some franchises that still have not won one. Like Phoenix.
Oh yeah. There's still some.
Yeah.
Phoenix hasn't won one. The Nets win. They haven't won an NBA one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't.
Orlando.
Right.
Magic. Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Utah got one? No, Utah.
They do not.
No Utah.
I don't think they did it this year, but a few years ago, the NBA put on the back of the uniform, right in the neckline on the back, they put a gold, gold patch.
Yep.
On all the teams that had won championships.
Oh,
If
yeah.
your team hadn't won a championship, you didn't get one.
Yeah.
So
remember,
Is that what separated it?
Yeah. It's
Really?
Like if your franchise had ever won a
Yeah,
championship,
you got the little-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Celtics had like the number 17 on
Right,
the back of
yeah,
theirs back
right.
then. Yeah.
Minnesota's doesn't have one either.
Correct.
Yeah, Minnesota.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they can't claim Minneapolis.
No.
Right.
Because that's the Lakers.
Yeah.
Lakers took that. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right.
Yeah. So we'll see how long before Scott Perry, ? Can get the Kings anywhere near contention. I ran into this piece here. As I mentioned, we have some audio that we're going to get to in a little bit, and it's not even 2 weeks old from Scott Perry. So it's very relevant talking about how you build a team. We'll get to all that, but I saw this story here. This is from May of 2023. Knicks parting ways with GM Scott Perry despite a pretty successful tenure per
Ooh.
report.
What is that CBS Sports you're reading from
This
there?
is, yes, correct. So I just thought, we remember when he was here, and as Jason Jones told us Friday, he seemed to bring some respectability to the team. But what did he do when he was with the Knicks? And here's what this piece says. It was written by Brad Botkin. It says, by any reasonable measure, The Knicks knocked the 23 season out of the park. They won 47 games, a 10-game improvement, and a first-round playoff series after signing Jalen Brunson to a 4-year, $104 million deal over the summer.
There you go. Okay.
Which was its own kind of home run. These are not the type of successes that typically precede the firing of a general manager, but the Knicks are indeed cutting ties with Scott Perry. So I know a lot of people have wondered, well, why, if he's so good, why isn't he around anymore? And he did. He had some ups and downs with the Knicks, but he did a pretty good job there.
No, he did. He helped, I mean, that Jalen Brunson signing, one of the best, over the last 5 to 7 years. Like,
yes,
that was huge. That changed the New York Knicks franchise, to be honest with you.
And this piece points out that there were a lot of people who thought the Knicks overpaid for Brunson. A lot of people were laughing at them at the time.
Yeah.
And it turns out that was not an overpay. That was a very shrewd deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And he recognized Brunson could be a lead guy too.
Yes.
That's what I like about it. It's, remember Brunson was in the shadow of Luka Doncic. He was coming off the bench at first for Dallas. And Scott Perry saw, you know what? This guy would be perfect for New York. And he's taken off since then. So.
Perry was there when the Knicks made the Porzingis trade to Dallas, which was a win for New York. Part of the front office had made a small deal with the Clippers to land the pick that became Emmanuel Quickley. They drafted R.J. Barrett. I know you were talking about that last week. Obi Toppin. They found Mitchell Robinson in the second round. They made one of the best trades at that year's deadline in acquiring Josh Hart. And this piece also says the moves the Knicks did not make while Perry was with the organization look equally good. They did not sell the farm for Donovan Mitchell, keeping all those aforementioned draft picks in New York's pocket. And I think they had, when he left there, I think they had 11. They'd stockpiled 11 picks.
Yeah, they gave him up for Mikal Bridges, right?
When the regime struck out on Durant and Irving, they did not overreact by going out and overpaying someone else just to have something to show for what was a highly anticipated summer. They maintained flexibility. It looks like there was kind of a, let's see, was it Tom Thibodeau and is it Leon Rose there?
Yeah, Leon Rose.
And Leon Rose just kind of like, I think it's going to be my show now. So
Leon Rose
I'm going to run
pulled rank on him a little bit. Said, all right, you're out of here.
So that's essentially what happened. This piece closes. Bottom line, it's not good enough anymore to go from a joke to a relevant team. Now the Knicks want to go from relevant to a contender. That's another kind of leap. My point is going from a joke to a relevant team. If he does that here,
we like that, right?
Mission accomplished.
We need that,
right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm, hopefully he comes in and gives us some stability. Like we said, a grown up in the room, if you will, and we'll see, man. It'll be interesting to see what his first player move is. Like, does he blow it up, make some big trade of a big name? Does he just sign, a mid-level guy or something like that? It's going to be interesting because, and I see everybody's picking up on that statement he made about Zach LaVine.
Yes.
Everybody's starting to pick up on that as well.
And we talked about that last week, and we played it. We're not shying away.
Right.
From
No. Yeah, exactly. That was a topic last week. So, yeah.
I think that's the first thing he has to do. And I'm sure, like we've said, he's been thinking about this, maybe already made some plans. LaVine and DeMar and Domas, in no particular order, you got to figure out what those three is like. Are we keeping that guy, committing to him? Or if we're moving him, then it's going to be a busy offseason. And then that would determine what direction do we want to go in now.
Yeah.
If you get rid of those guys, what kind of player are you trying to get in return? And I wonder how much you got to get the coaching thing settled pretty soon, too.
Yeah. Do you think, he's had all those conversations with Vivek, though? This is how I view the roster. This is how I view Doug. Like, if I'm an owner, I want to know this before I hire you, right? Like,
yeah.
What's your first order of business when you come in here? Like, what do you think about our roster? And so I'm hoping that they have had those discussions, and whatever that they are, Scott will be able to go out and do that. You know what I mean? It won't be from an edict from ownership.
Like, this is what we're doing. Can you do it? As opposed to, what do you think we should do?
Right.
And then if we agree, then all right, you can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah,
right. Exactly. Right. Like, I'm hoping they already come in on the same page with everything and won't get overruled by ownership or anything like that.
Yeah. And then I think don't you have to take into account what the coach wants to do, or what kind of player the coach wants? You're building the identity and chemistry and all that. Doesn't the coach have to have some say on that? Otherwise, you have to find a coach that will buy into that.
Well, and
a
that's
lot to sort out.
Well, that's the thing. That's the reason why usually you hire the GM first and then allow them to go pick their coach, because you get somebody that's sort of, lined in with your organizational philosophy, how you want, and so that's what's so surprising to me about the Monty and Mike Brown situation. And, Jason Anderson wrote about it, more than a year ago, it seems like now, that those two might have been buttoned. Like, Monty knows who Mike Brown been around for a long time. We know he's a defensive-minded coach. Why hire him and not invest in defense? Not go out there and get the kind of players that he wants. Like that was a little suspect.
Yeah. My read on that at the time could have been 100% false, was that Monty then was adopting the position of the organization. Hey, coach, you're the coach, but this is, as an organization, this is what we're doing. And that was being dictated to him.
Right.
Yeah. But we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. Unless Monty comes out with a tell-all book. Nah, he's not that guy. Right? Yeah, that's true. That's true.
When George Karl came out with his book, I forget the name of it. The first edition, it was like a preview edition, was released. And apparently there was all kinds of stuff in there about the Kings. Then when the actual book came out, it was not in there.
Really?
Yes. And I know that
All
because
the
I
King
talked to
stuff is
Sean
out?
Cunningham. He got
He
one
saw
of the advanced copies that was made available to the media.
Wow.
There was stuff in there, and I haven't seen it. I don't remember what it was, but stuff involving DeMarcus and stuff. He got to see that stuff that George Karl written that was not in the final book.
Wow. So
I'll have to ask
ownership said, because of that non-disclosure maybe or something
I think
like
so.
that.
Yeah, if he has a non-disclosure, they would have, the right to say, well, you can't put that.
Right.
You can put it in your book, but then
threaten legal action.
Yeah, then we're not going to pay you anymore.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. We'll come right back with a look at the Kings. Is it time for a new direction or just rerouting the old one? How drastic should this redirection for the Kings be? Next with the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind zero-turn and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel, let's go mow. Available at participating dealers.
49ers are on the clock. Don't miss Sacktown Sports coverage of the upcoming draft. Brought to you by Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge. No one covers pro football like Sacktown Sports, and there's no place better to enjoy it than with over 80 screens at Twin Peaks. And their ice-chilled 29-degree drafts at the 5 p.m. happy hour kickoff.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
I hadn't seen this. We were talking earlier about playoffs, and I was saying how excited I was to see what Minnesota did to the Lakers. Did you see this, Jay? There's video here. There's a caption. I haven't listened to it, but I'm assuming this is correct. Anthony Edwards to a Laker fan? You heard what he said to a Laker fan?
No, I didn't see that.
I got $300 million, and my bleep is bigger than yours. So.
Dang. Yeah. Hey, he came to play. One thing about Anthony, one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to misunderstand or misinterpret where he's coming from.
Right.
I think he's definitely one of those guys that want to get the point across when it's on the basketball floor.
Yeah. Or even the people who are just off the basketball.
Yeah, that too. Well, you close. Within the atmosphere.
He was kind of targeting Luka there.
Oh, yeah.
For Nico Harrison is like, that would be great for Nico if they ended up losing, if the Lakers got knocked out. But I think you sent us this stuff, Jay, about how now there's word out of Dallas that the ownership is unhappy with Nico because he did not explain to them what a big ruckus it was going to cause if they traded Luka. And Nico said, yeah, I knew fans would be upset. I didn't know they'd be that upset.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
That's terrible.
Because this is the thing, honestly. And I understand there is a different way of living when you have that type of chip, when you have that type of coin in your life. But are you that oblivious to something that you own? Are you
talking about the owners?
Yes.
Or governors? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, how are you that oblivious to what's going on in a business that you own? Even if you're looking at it from a business standpoint, just corporation standpoint.
Well, I don't know how it is with him and the Mavs. I don't. Based on the baseball owners, I think don't even like baseball. So I think really, I don't think they know
like
that much
only a
about
few
it,
of them.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this guy doesn't even really pay that much attention to what's going on with the team. But you should have told me. I didn't know people would be this upset. It is.
How do you buy a franchise and not know that?
Right? Luka's a international celebrity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I know last week Jay lined up Tim McMahon for us, and he told us that there was a lot of friction there. Did you see a story today about what caused some of the friction?
No.
Okay, there's a longtime trainer there, athletic trainer, and he, among some other people, had been instrumental in when Luka came over, just helping get adjusted. Because he's not from here, obviously, and being with him and keeping him healthy. And then Nico Harrison called the guy up. Nico didn't get along with the guy, and Nico called him up. It's like, hey, I need to meet with you. And the guy's like, I can't meet with you right now. My mother is on her deathbed, and I'm sorry. And he goes, well, we'll do something over, we'll have like a virtual interview. And he fired the guy.
They fired him with his mom on the deathbed?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that just made the rift wider, and apparently that's one of the reasons why they decided to make this trade. Nico and Luka were not anywhere near the same page. It sounds like a power struggle, but how could you be that short-sighted and stupid to not know that was going to blow up in your face?
Yeah, and Kevin O'Connor said today the Mavs should fire Nico Harrison right now. Like, it's just a bad somebody got to take the fall for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, when you botch that as badly as you did, and even if the owner told you to trade Luka, can't you get a better deal than what you got? Like, and I love Anthony Davis. I think he's a tremendous player, but you ain't got no draft picks coming back. Like, what's going on? And so, yeah, and Nico need to go back to sneakers.
Yeah.
He need to go back to Nike, and because this basketball front office stuff ain't working.
He dropped a few things there too, Drapes.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah?
He did.
Yeah.
The only thing that made sense to me when we were trying to figure out what happened was that there must be something more to it, like Luka with his off-court habits or something. I just assumed it has to be something like that. There was some, rumors to that effect, didn't really know. I couldn't imagine that Nico was just that short-sighted and oblivious to the reality, but it appears that he may have been. He may have just been oblivious to what was actually going on with his own franchise.
Well, here's the problem though with it, Whitey, and you're right. But you're supposed to be a basketball mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is your job as a GM. You're supposed to know the value of your players, the connection. Like, it'd be different if he just crawled out from under a rock, never watched basketball before in his life, wasn't familiar with the NBA, then you make the trade. But you've been connected with the league forever.
Yeah.
And to do something like this, it's like Lakers trading Kobe or something like that. That's how it would play out. And that's a fireable offense.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
The Lakers were smart enough not to trade Kobe even when he wanted to be traded.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to be traded.
He's
It's like, nah.
I want to go to the Bulls. And the story I heard was Kupchak, right? It's like, all right, we'll trade you to the Bulls. We're going to get Luol Deng. And they knew that Kobe'd go, well, wait, if they trade for him, why would I want to go there?
Right, yeah.
Tell us
Sorry,
what do you want to do, Kobe?
Yeah, that's and here's the problem with what Nico's doing. Every time he opens his mouth, it gets worse.
Yes.
He's digging himself a ditch, like it's. And did you see game one? I saw some of the video people posted, not game one, when Dallas lost in the play-in. Anthony Davis shot the air ball, got hurt, and the camera pans right to Nico and everything.
Yes.
It's just like, you can't make this stuff up when it comes to him, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
So as far as the Kings in a new direction, what do you think, Drapes, if Scott Perry came to you? And he may, if they ever get this deal finalized. Is it still a possibility tomorrow's a press conference?
Maybe, I have no idea. Yeah, that
rumored.
We heard that. Yeah, rumored, but
yeah,
they haven't made it official yet.
If he says, "Look, Drapes, what do you think? You've been here a long time. Do we need a new direction here, or do we just kind of reroute the direction in which we're already headed?"
I think everything's on the table. Like, I don't think you can just come in and say that without knowing some of the offers that might be out there. Like, I'm not taking pennies on the dollar just to get rid of guys. I'm not getting fleeced in the deal. I'm
not going to get rid of guys just to get rid of guys.
Right. Everything's on the table. Everybody's available. If I'm a new GM, because you just never know. What if somebody loves Domas, or what if somebody loves DeMar and willing to, give you 2 or 3 first-round picks, a couple of unprotecteds or something like that. So if I'm a GM, everything's on the table, and I let the players know that too. I'm calling them up. Hey. So I'm new on the job, but my goal is to create a champion, and everything's on the table right now.
We know that there are some people in basketball that are divided on Domas. Fair enough. Some people think, I'm not sure. We don't know how Scott Perry feels. If I were Scott Perry and I was one of those people that felt like, nah, you're never, he's going to limit you, whether that's right or wrong. If I'm Scott Perry and I feel that way about Domas, and if he feels the way about Zach LaVine that he appeared to feel in that clip from a year and a half ago, whatever it was, if I'm Scott Perry and I'm coming into that situation, I'm saying, I have to move these guys. This is my job. I don't believe in these guys. Now, we don't know if he feels that way, but if he does, it's like, I'm only taking the job if I can move off these guys. Otherwise, I can't do the job you're paying me to do.
Yeah, you're right. And somebody on the 530 says, why would you fire Monty if you're not going to change directions? Like, if you're just going to keep it going as is, why get rid of Monty in the first place? And so I don't know, man. We talked about Scott Perry in that year and a half ago about Zach LaVine. I'm interested to know, what does he think about our current players?
Yes.
And can you win with a Zach or a DeMar or a Domas? You win with one of them. Like, do you move off the others? Like, that needs to be asked in a press conference if you're a media member,
right? This is total speculation, but what if that's one of the holdups? It's like, we're going to have to move off of this guy. It's like, well, we don't know about that, Scott. We'll see. Well, I'm not taking the job unless we're committed to moving off player A or player B or player A and player B. I have no idea, but it's crossed my mind.
If this falls through,
dang, Drapes, I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean, it's been a while now, right? It's been a few days.
Yes.
I mean, when was Monty fired?
He didn't fire.
Sunday.
He wasn't fired.
When was Monty,
when did they separate mutually?
Thursday,
Sunday.
right?
Thursday?
The
play-in game.
Yeah,
Thursday.
Wednesday night. Yeah. It was Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when did Scott Perry come out, that news?
That morning. Yeah. The next morning.
So we're talking 4 days.
It's holiday weekend, Drapes.
People got cell phones now, Jay. People could, like, what's the holdup, right?
I don't know. And it could be nothing. Could be totally insignificant. But I remember being in the Bay Area a couple of years ago when the Giants had announced Carlos Correa. Press conference today to announce signing Carlos Correa.
I remember that.
When that fell through, Giants fans went nuts. It's like, what is this organization doing?
Who leaked this, I wonder? Is this from the Scott Perry camp? And could it be like, hold up? The Kings are like, hold up. We haven't.
I don't
like, now we're going down a rabbit hole here.
I have to think if it got so far as Sham saying, because he didn't say, right, well, they have to work out some details, right? He said, yeah, they're going to hire him. I got to think that they're
finalizing
dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and everything. Full speed ahead. I don't even want to think about what it would mean for the organization if, for whatever reason, they had to come out and go, well, turns out, hey, how about Calvin Booth, everybody?
Oh, my God.
What if they come out and say just what you said, though, but in reverse of the form of, you know what, we thought we had a mutual agreement. We had some different ideas of where this organization was going to go. We're going to open this up to whatever, a full landscape of, opportunity.
Yeah. If it came to that, Jay, who even would go out and say that? You know?
Well, that's the question. I think.
who's saying that? Yeah.
That's the tough part. Yeah.
Because right now you don't have anybody.
Yeah. Would you have to send Doug out there?
Doug?
But it'll happen.
The ownership has to come out there.
I know, but they're probably not likely to do that. But you're right.
Who's in charge of basketball right now?
The ownership?
Yeah. Just, I guess, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It'll work out.
It'll work out. Yeah. We need this announcement here. We need the press conference. We need this era to get started.
And I really do think, based on what Jerry said, what we look up, what we're going to hear from Scott Perry just 12 days ago, I think he's going to be a good hire.
Think so?
But I do think that Beam Team era, De'Aaron Fox is gone, Monty's gone, Mike Brown is gone. I'm thinking right now, if you can get something really good for him, that it's probably time to move Domas too. And again, like I said, you don't want to just get rid of him.
So you're looking to clean house, start over.
That Beam Team era is like, okay, you went as far as you're going to get with that. Maybe it could have gone farther. It didn't. Further, it didn't. So I think we need a new sense of direction.
Let me ask you something. I know we got to break, and maybe we can do this on the other side. If Scott Perry becomes the general manager, VP of Ops, however they announce his title, and we've seen it, we're going to play some sound here soon. We know Scott Perry is the type of person that seems to be, willing and able to step out there at a press conference and say, hey, this is what we want to do. This is the foundational pieces. These are the things we're looking at. And Drapes, you said someone from the Kings media needs to ask certain questions that you'll be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I guess once the announcement is ready, press conference is done, how quick are you looking for one or two moves to be done by Scott Perry? Like, what's the timeline for you guys?
Soon as possible, but that you can't rush, can't let other teams know that, oh, you got to do something quick.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to give you what you want then.
Right. But knowing, because
some of it you got to get settled.
You just brought to the table of, well, who's the person over there making decisions? Mm-hmm. We know if he comes in, he's going to have to build his own cubbyhole, his own squad, and then he's also going to have to make a decision on head coaching, which then they're going to have to make decisions on who they bring too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
maybe that's the hold up, the head coaching thing.
We're not behind the 8 ball just yet,
right?
But Drapes, you know it better than most of us. You know the calendar of what goes on with the NBA. We know Summer League is very quick around the corner.
Well, you got to have them in before the draft, a few weeks before the draft. Yeah, because think about it. Let's say you do wind up keeping your pick, which is highly unlikely. But even if you don't, you still bring in players for workouts.
Right.
Which players you bringing in?
Mm-hmm.
Like who's running the front office? Who's running basketball ops to even set up these workouts and bring in these guys? And it's tough. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Is it Paul, you think? Paul Johnson? I guess he hasn't. Paul and Phil Jabor are still there. So maybe those guys are running things.
But if you bring in a new GM, doesn't he kind of have to make a decision on those people too?
Yeah.
We're going to hear some things Scott Perry said recently, top of the hour. We'll get to Scott Perry's thoughts on how you build a team top of the hour. When we come back, Cooper Flagg makes it official. So what are the odds of the Kings landing in? They're not great, but we'll look at them next. Sacktown Sports.
Breaking: the Sacramento Kings and Scott Perry are finalizing a deal for him to become the next GM of the Kings. Keep it here for up-to-date breaking Sacramento Kings news. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, a little historical perspective on Jacob Wilson's 15-game hitting streak to begin the season, which ended on the 13th against the Mets. In the expansion era, the only longer streak by an Athletic to start a season, Stan Javier hit in 17 straight in 1994. The Athletics record, Hank Majeski, 19 straight in 49.
Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business with reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solution, and Wi-Fi backup. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. For details on special offers, including free professional installation and up to a $500 Visa prepaid card on qualifying internet bundles, log on to business.comcast.com. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
At Big O Tires, now through April 27th, get $50 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Bridgestone, Firestone, Pirelli, or Hankook brand tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tire store for pricing.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Your old HVAC system could be costing you a fortune in energy bills and repair bills. Right now, Sierra Pacific is offering deep discounts, saving homeowners thousands of dollars. Savings that won't be available later this year, but you must act fast. We have to fill openings in our schedule next week. This limited time offer is only available if you book your installation for next week. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Sierra Pacific and lock in your savings today.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Aggie fans, UC Davis football is hosting their spring game this Saturday, April 26th at 4 o'clock at UC Davis Health Stadium. Free admission for all fans, so arrive early. The doors open at 3. You can enjoy a live DJ, band, and spirit performances and enjoy this community event. All kids under 12 are invited to join the team for a pregame runout and postgame drills event. Fans of all ages are invited to a meet and greet and autograph session following the conclusion of the game. For more info, visit ucdavisaggies.com. Go Ags.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
Yesterday, had a chance to play a little pickup basketball for the first time in a long time, Drapes. Jay, dear listener, just, family stuff.
Oh, boy.
So at my sister-in-law's, it was me and my nephew Connor, who played a little high school basketball, against his big brother Owen, who's a deadly shooter, and Owen's girlfriend Jen, who hasn't played a lot of basketball, but I think she ended up scoring like 12 points.
Okay.
And the thing was,
Man, what'd y'all go to?
We went to 30.
Okay.
With the way it was set up, we obviously had an advantage. So every basket they got the ball. So when they scored, it was winners. When we scored, it was losers. So we were down like 27-12. We came battling back. We started trapping. And I mean, we got a 29. We're down 29-27. And your boy hit the 3 to win it. Boom. Walk it up.
So you still got it.
Dagger.
You still got it.
Bang.
Okay. Who was defending you?
No.
All right. I got a good look, though. Y'all worked the offense and got a good look. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So comeback win. Jen was it was her birthday. She's getting, like I said, she threw in like 5 or 6 shots, but she's not a great defender at this point of her basketball career. So you were able to get some good looks. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. That was fun.
Right. Yeah, that was is that your house there?
No, that's at my sister-in-law's house in Pacifica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bang!
Oh, and you drove back last night or this morning?
Yesterday afternoon.
Okay. Yes. But took today off, big fella. Spend some more time. Yeah.
Come on.
Too much going on?
Yeah. You played golf this weekend?
Friday and Saturday I played golf. Sunday I didn't do a damn thing. Sunday was a nice chill day. Kids woke up late. Went over to my aunt's house, hung out, barbecued over there. And that's about it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Got some expenses done from the season I had to turn in.
What's it like now? Is it like, I know you're still working here every day, but you don't have 2 jobs right now. You have a lot more time. Isn't it nice to?
It is.
Yeah. Because plus this job's like a vacation.
I don't know. This job,
anyway.
dude, I'm gonna keep it real. And I know Jose's listening right now. Listen up, Jose. Dude, we got a Chamber of Commerce day outside. It's hard driving in. I know Whitey don't mind, but everybody's out playing. People frolicking out there in the park.
We're frolicking indoors.
Dude, we gotta get some more windows or something right here, right, Whitey? Like,
No,
let me see outside.
You'll be
Boxed
like a dog in a car.
I
You'll
will
be
be
staring out the
Dude,
window.
ain't nothing outside of our place. You know that. We ain't got no activity outside. But no, seriously, like Jay said during the commercial break, outside as much as possible this offseason.
We're working on
Live
it.
broadcast.
We're working on it. But it must be nice for you to just like, woo.
Yeah, it's
Have
good,
us-
especially to be done work.
Yeah.
And like actually it still be light outside, you know, and not have to go to the second job. Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's awesome. I'm telling you, I'm planning these trips, Whitey, yo. Like, that's the best part about it. I can actually plan trips now.
I know.
So.
I got to get my time off request in, or pretty soon it'll just be the whole calendar.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Drake's
worried about.
gone then.
I've asked you 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You taking any
You
time
have.
off? I'm giving you the opportunity, but I'm about to send Jose the email.
Can I take any time off in June, July, August, or September? Drapes
Nope,
is gone.
it's already gone.
Drapes is gone. Sorry.
Hey, we get Alan Styles to fill in anyway. They working him like a mule anyway, so he can
Be the Stephen A. Smith.
He's out there at the River Cascades.
I know that dude everywhere, man. Styles.
Maybe we'll be talking about the Kings and the first pick in the draft. Probably not. But Cooper Flagg made it official today. Duke fans, my teammates, the brotherhood, everybody that was along for the journey, blah, blah, blah. I'm excited to announce I'll be entering my name into the 2025 NBA draft. So what are the odds of the Kings getting a shot at Cooper Flagg? Drapes, they're not very good, but there is a chance.
What is it, 0.8? Or was it, or something like that? You looking that up right now, Whitey? Yeah. I mean, it's a very remote chance. I just need to look up how many times the number 13 actually got the number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have Sacramento right now, that 13th pick. First overall, 0.8. Top 4, 3.8.
3.8 top 4?
chance
Okay.
of moving into the top 4. 0.8% chance leapfrogging everybody all the way to the top pick in the draft.
All right, there you go. So you're saying there's a chance.
There is a very, very slim
If we could
chance.
get a top 3, something like that.
If
top
they'd
4,
lost
like-
that coin flip today, it'd only be a 3.4% chance of being in the top
There you
4.
go,
And only
see?
a 0.7% chance again, the number 1 pick.
That's
So,
what I'm talking about.
win today.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. And I honestly feel Adam Silver might owe us one. The NBA gods might owe us one, Whitey.
They've been owing us one for
Why?
so long.
Yeah, I was going to say why.
Because that's exactly why we still haven't cashed out on that.
Dude, we hit. Luka was right there. Was that not the gods?
When we got number 2?
Yeah.
So, Jay, you're saying the basketball gods say, there's nothing more we can do for you.
Well, no. You always can do more now. But I'm just saying, isn't that the one where it's okay? Listen, this is a 2, 3, 4 man draft, and we're going to give you high pick, your choice. Made the wrong one. But I'm with you. They definitely continuously owe us, no doubt.
Would you guys have any interest? Because I think I have some. I'm not sure I should have as much as I do, but would you have interest in that Atlanta pick, which actually goes to San Antonio? So you got Sacramento's pick, which goes to Atlanta at 13. And then at 14, it's Atlanta's pick, which goes to San Antonio. Would that do anything for you? Obviously, it depends on what you have to give up to get it. But would you like to have that pick too? Maybe have a couple picks,
couple lottery
at the back
picks
of the lottery, and maybe also a couple lottery tickets, chances to move up.
I think so. Yeah, I would love that pick. I would love it because we're at a point now. We need as many cracks at it as we can get. Right. I mean, if we're talking about overhauling the roster, retooling with young guys, that's what OKC's doing. Utah, all the teams at the Brooklyn. It's getting a number of cracks at it. They might not all stick. They might not all hit, but you get more shots at the plate there. And so, no, I would love that pick. And could you package 13 or 14 to move up to 8? Something like that? Would you use 6? Something like if a guy is available, or because we're in a situation, we need as many young bodies as we can.
You can't package 13 because it's probably not going to be yours.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we are. Dang.
Yeah. unless you
I
win.
forgot about
You
that.
can if you win the lottery.
Right.
Yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. It's time for a Monday, day after Easter edition of Check It with
Mike
TC. What's up, TC? How are you?
Yes, sir, man. How was y'all Easter, man? What's up?
It was
Good. What's up, TC?
Oh, man, just vibing, man. So, look, hey, I'm just listening to my boys, man. Mike, check it, y'all. Here we go. Hey, so it ain't really a hold-up. I believe the press conference is going to happen tomorrow or Wednesday. But, look, hey, what about from this standpoint? Scott Perry is coming in with no nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And he got a reputation on his name. What if he's thinking, like, I know Doug could be the guy in the back burner, but let me do all of my homework. That way we don't look like we're doing funny business or people look at me funny. So I'm going to do a coaching search before I do my press conference, but on the under. You get me? What if he's calling around, talking to agents and finding out about coaches before he comes to do this press conference? Because I truly believe, bro, when that press conference is still, it's going to be a coach. And it's going to be saying, hey, here goes Scott Perry, and here goes Doug Christie with him, bro. Or here goes Scott Perry and whoever. I want Doug to be the guy, but I can get it if Scott Perry said, you know what, bro, my rep is too strong. I got to do this. I got to do this the way it has to be done, rightly, and then we'll come back to Doug. That's where I'm at with it. Also, before I get offline, I'm like this. Those three guys are on the trading block, bro. Zach, DeMar, and Domas, bro. And when I'm calling my teams, I'm asking them, hey, which one I know it doesn't work. It's not 2K, but I'm being serious, bro. Which one do you want out of the three, bro? And then we can work out the deal later. But find out which one you want. That's what I'm calling. I'm calling every team I talk to. I'm telling, hey, I got three guys, Zach, DeMar, and Domas. Which one do you want, big dog? That's all I got, man.
Watch out.
Thank you, TC. That makes way more sense to me than any of his previous calls. I mean, he's had good. I'm not saying his calls are terrible, but like I was with him, like, oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah. I think he may have a direct line to Scott Perry.
So Scott Perry working behind the scenes right now, huh?
That makes a lot of sense. What's the hold up? They want to get the coaching thing resolved, and maybe it will be Doug. But his press conference, he wants to be able to be there. This is going to be the coach.
Oh, introduce the coach also.
Yes, whether it be Doug or somebody else.
Okay,
fellas, I can speak on this as the great value of radio. Sources tell me that it looks like Scott Perry press conference is going to to be Wednesday.
Oh,
sources are telling me Wednesday.
Okay, all right.
Wednesday, expect Scott Perry. So
all right,
we're inching up the ladder. So he might be TC might be right. He might be, politicking and working the phones. I'm not 100% sure, but
and I will take one of your sources to the bank, so I'm not casting doubt on that. But it hasn't been announced yet, right? It's not official.
No.
But,
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jay.
Interesting. So Wednesday now, allegedly, or off. Sources say
holiday weekend, man. People had things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows? He might not be able to get here in time.
Truth.
Like wrapping things up with the family or something like that. Hey guys, can we do it Wednesday instead of Tuesday? I'm not.
Never know.
I'm just hoping that's Scott Perry's debut with the Drive Guys Wednesday. Whatever we have to do to make that happen, right?
Oh, dude, we should be out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Sources tell me we're still hunting for that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Jay's got great sources.
Jay's working on it.
All right, we'll come back with can we look at just a quick peek at the NFL draft?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Then we'll get to Scott Perry, top of the hour, some things he had to say recently about building a team. We'll come back with a peek at this week's NFL draft next. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Kyle Draper. Have you ever been driving along, listening to some tunes, or even better yet, your favorite sports talk radio show, when all of a sudden, bam, you hit a pothole or something on the freeway and your car starts making a funny noise or it just doesn't run as smoothly anymore? Well, one of the first things you probably think about is how much it's going to cost to service your vehicle. Well, I know the perfect people to help you out. The service team at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is top-notch. Their convenient and quality care will help your Mercedes-Benz stay running like new. They have genuine parts, expert technicians, service savings, and personalized care. And they're open on Saturdays, too. But maybe you're ready for something new. Well, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has you covered. They have a full selection of brand new and certified pre-owned vehicles, which will fit your budget. Plus, their rates are unbelievably low, and they have special consumer cash deals right now. But hurry up, because these deals won't last long. Head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and tell them Drape sent you, or go online anytime at mbfstockton.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Kevin Hart with some exciting news. I am coming to a city near you. My new tour is called Acting My Age, and I want to see you there. Come out, have a good night, a good time. It's all new material in a much, much more intimate setting. Go get your tickets and head to KevinHartNation.com now.
Comedy superstar Kevin Hart brings his new tour, Acting My Age, to the venue at Thunder Valley on Saturday, April 26th. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com and KevinHartNation.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Alan Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Second baseman Zach Geloff, out with that fractured right hand, has started up baseball activity, including fielding grounders and throwing. He has been cleared to start a hitting progression, and the A's remain hopeful that he could return in early May. Ken Waldichuk, left-handed pitcher, out with that left elbow sprain, threw all fastballs in his last bullpen. He's targeting a return before the All-Star break. This injury report was brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Alan Stiles. Have an injury? Call Downtown. Downtown LA Law Group, an injury law firm, has many happy clients in Sacramento and the surrounding areas who have called Downtown. Get paid for your injuries from slip and falls or auto accidents. One of their most recent settlements was $1.5 million for a motorcycle accident. Have you had an auto accident? Call Downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222 and visit them at calldowntown.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
So we found out that it looks like Scott Perry's introductory press conference, is going to be Wednesday. And top of the hour, we've got some audio for you of Scott Perry. Just about 12 days ago, he went on a podcast and did a long interview, and it was great. And he talked about building teams and foundations. And so we'll hear some of that top of the hour. Obviously very pertinent now because he's presumably going to be applying some of these things to the Kings starting Wednesday. So we're looking forward to that. I want to take a minute here to look at the NFL draft, Jay, but I know you're a big 49er guy. It doesn't seem like there's as much buzz about the draft this year as there normally is.
Yeah, I think it's down.
Yeah.
Top end talent.
Yeah.
And we know the quarterbacks rule the roost, fellas. So, I think everyone believes Cam Ward is going to be a guy, and everything else is kind of a coin flip. So I think that plays a lot in it too.
Yeah, this is from Bruce Feldman in The Athletic. He says, if you're an NFL defensive line coach, you love this draft. 2 pro defensive line coaches I spoke to in the past week said they think there are at least a dozen legitimate first-round talents this year, twice as many as were picked last year. But if you need a quarterback primed to step in and play, well, things look bleak. And obviously from a fan standpoint, no quarterbacks, meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only buzz I'm hearing is if Shador is going drop.
Right.
It ain't actually, I think Cam Ward's going to be number 1, right?
Mm-hmm. That way.
Everybody's saying. Outside of that, and after Cam Ward and Shador, even the quarterback, they aren't sexy. Jackson Dart, they just aren't as sexy as in years past.
Right.
It seems like.
And there's some people that think the Saints would even pass on Shador at 9 and take Jackson Dart there. That's really high to take him.
Yeah, that's pretty high. I don't get that. People are like, why would the Giants pass him at 3?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why? Who's the Giants? I need to look up a mock
Abdul
draft.
Carter sounds like.
Yeah.
Is that what
a lot of people have Carter ranked as their number 1 player, but remember he's coming off injury, fellas. So I think that drop. I mean, you can't drop much when you 3rd, 4th pick, but
right.
I think everybody thought he would be the number 1. But the injuries kind of slowed him down a little bit. Foot injury.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you're excited about from the 49ers standpoint in the first round, Jay?
Yeah, the fact just what Bruce Feldman says, and I think they're spot on. If they go any other way, I'd be super surprised. I think they're grabbing a defensive end and or a defensive tackle. As you said, you just read, Feldman talked about it. From all the research I've done, all the people I've talked to, the defensive tackle position is super deep this year.
Yeah.
They're even talking about starting caliber guys in the 3rd round as a defensive tackle. So I think they'll probably sit on a defensive tackle. I really expect them to go DN or offensive tackle for the 49ers, which isn't sexy, but we know that's where the bills are paid.
Here's further proof as if we need it that artificial intelligence is not that intelligent. Here's a roundup of AI predictions for the 49ers at the 11th pick. Microsoft Copilot says the 49ers take cornerback Will Johnson, Michigan. A lot of people are saying that. I don't think it's going to happen. Meta AI says Tetaroa McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona. Grok says Armand Membo, tackle, Missouri. And Chat GPT says Luther Burden III, wide receiver, Missouri. No. They're going to pick a tackle or an edge rusher.
A lineman for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I can't. Somebody had Tetaroa. They're not drafting a wide receiver.
It was Meta AI.
Right? Nah, there's no way.
Right.
Hold on, I'm on Chat GPT right now. Can I just type it in and come up with something? NFL mock draft. Let's see what Chat GPT comes out and says. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Will Johnson, Ashton Genty. Hold on.
He's going to be good, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
A lot of people are high.
I really like it.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on it. Oh, it doesn't have the Niners. Let me see. Keep going, Whitey. Keep going.
The other thing I was going to say about quarterbacks is the more Aaron Rodgers talks, the less I care what he has to say.
Oh, come on, man.
Why would he say?
Well, now he's just talking about, I might retire. And he's saying the Jets, they were disrespectful when I met with them. And he was on McAfee Thursday. And the Steelers are saying, we think he's coming here. We don't know. It sounds like maybe he's hoping something will happen where he can go somewhere else. If not, he's going to go to the Steelers, but maybe he's not crazy about that. And the drama is like, he's just not worth it to me at this point.
Yeah.
Where's he going to go? I don't care.
Is he, for lack of a better phrase, comparison, sort of the Jimmy Butler of the NFL? Meaning, if you're a young rebuilding team, you don't want him. You need like solid foundation, solid front office, solid ownership, solid locker room, somebody that can handle that. Because that was our knock with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler at that age, I don't know if he fits in right now. You know, a lot of people, Aaron Rodgers, quietly as it's kept, Jay and Whitey, statistically, numbers weren't bad last season.
They weren't bad.
They weren't bad.
They're not getting better.
Right. Yeah. But, you know, if you have everything perfectly in place around him, and your only missing piece, a la the Steelers, is a quarterback.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I know. It
Can he
just
take
seems
you
like
to a bowl, though? You guys think he can take you to the bowl?
it just seems like now there's so much dysfunction surrounding him wherever he
Right,
goes, and there's so
right.
much drama, negative drama. You know, you can put up like Big Ben was putting the serious things that he was accused of aside. There was always a lot of drama with him. He's kind of a prima donna, but he was worth it. But Aaron Rodgers at this point, I don't know that he's worth all this. He's dragging franchises down.
Yeah.
How about this from JD209? Niners going to get Mason Graham if available.
He'll be gone.
But if Shedeur is there, take him and trade Purdy or let him walk. We need a playmaker and some swag, and Shedeur Sanders provides both.
What do you think about that, Jay?
I think that's a terrible idea. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You think it's terrible? If
I don't know what
is there,
Shedeur going to be, though, Drake. So where do you think Shedeur is going to be?
I think he'll be gone. I think he'll be
he'll
gone.
be out of there?
I think so. But
Think somebody
if
trade
he's
up
there-
and come and get him? Or you think that he doesn't
I think Saints
make
might,
it past the Saints? Okay.
Yeah, I think Saints will get him at 9. But if he's there,
Mm-hmm.
can he be better than Brock Purdy?
Nope.
You think he'll
Brock
never
Purdy's
be better?
good.
He'll never be better than Brock Purdy is what you're telling me.
I don't think so, especially, not in that system and everything. But no, I don't think so. Nothing against him. Brock Purdy's really good. I just went to my phone here because I believe Michael Silver said it looks like they're making some progress on the Brock Purdy negotiations, and it looks like he's going to get more than $50 million a year, but I'm not sure how far along.
55.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know, Drapes. You're getting more darts on the board, and you're pushing Brock for sure
Yeah,
to let
think
him
about
know.
that.
Yeah, but I think Brock is a quarterback that's shown he could take you to the Super Bowl and win. I mean, he hasn't won it, but I think he could win it,
I
All
don't
right,
know,
champ.
man.
All right,
I know. I'm just saying. It's like you said. You could get a haul back for
You
Brock
sure
Purdy.
can.
You
You
get a
can.
haul back for Brock Purdy.
But when do you want the haul? Because you need it now during the draft.
I know my man TC would agree with me. I'm just saying.
I think
Grant Cohn is beating that drum right now. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't think we want to trade Brock. I'm out on trading.
Would you do it for your quarterback? Let's just say
my
vice
quarterback
versa.
is a Super Bowl
He's a
winning
champ.
quarterback.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a champ. You don't trade Super Bowl winning
You
quarterbacks.
just re-signed your center, which is a great move.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Good move.
Huge
That's a really
move.
good move. Yeah. When we come back, we'll tell you what Scott Perry had to say just 2 weeks ago about building a basketball team. Next, Drive Guys Sacktown Sports.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Everyone has a past, but what happens if you've made mistakes and made good on that past, but it keeps following you? Are you looking for an attorney to erase past records and restore your rights? Maybe even restore your gun rights? Do you need a reputable criminal defense attorney who knows even good people make bad mistakes? Well, the attorneys at Gonzalez Law Office are here to help. Find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187. We don't settle for less, and neither should you.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
It's the final days of the spring sales event. Drive home your new Honda before the deals and the new Hondas disappear. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
All about the money. It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It looks like the Kings will introduce Scott Perry on Wednesday. That's not official. That's what we're hearing. We don't necessarily have to wait that long, though, to hear some of his thoughts on building a basketball team. Scott Perry just 12 days ago appeared on a podcast, Learning Basketball Pod, and I got to give credit to the people that first saw this. This was the Kings Herald had this. That's where I saw it. So there's a really interesting interview with Scott Perry on his career, but also on how to put a team together. He's had quite a career. He was an all-state basketball player. Got a scholarship to attend Oregon, ended up playing at Wayne State. He was a coach for a while at University of Detroit Mercy, and then he was an executive with Joe Dumars in Detroit. He was an Orlando Magic general manager. I guess he was a vice president, assistant general manager. He was with the Kings before he became GM of the Knicks, and I believe he was a scout as well. So he's one of those guys that's done a lot in basketball, and he's a basketball lifer, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And, his dad was the first African-American coach in the NFL, assistant coach in the NFL. And so he has a long lineage of sports in his background.
Mm-hmm. So here's some thoughts from Scott Perry. And here he is talking about building a foundation. How often have we talked about that with the Kings over the years? Building a solid foundation. Scott Perry's general thoughts. This is before we knew he was going to take over in Sacramento. We don't know when he knew that, but here he is in general terms talking about the importance of building a foundation when you're putting together a basketball team.
When you build a house, you want to dig a really deep hole and have the concrete be extremely solid on the bottom so that what you build on top of it is going to always be there in place. And so that's kind of what I felt working for a decade plus in Detroit, that I've received that in the NBA basketball level in terms of building such a foundation that would allow me to take that foundation and learn, and have an openness to learning new ways as I went to the other stops that I went on after I left Detroit.
How about that novel concept, a solid foundation for the Kings?
And what does that translate to you? To me, that means you got to have your stars first. That's your foundation, the guys that are going to lead you. And then you can, add in all the, fixtures in the house and stuff like that. But these 2 or 3 guys, the stars, we got to have those first.
To me, it also speaks to the importance of having everybody knowing what they're doing. That's part of the foundation as well, right? As we're all doing this is what we're all trying to accomplish. And to that point, Scott Perry also talked about something we also have talked about a lot. And Doug Christie has talked about this just over the last few weeks of the season. Here's Scott Perry on the importance of a team establishing an identity.
Yeah, anyway, the big thing too, the big takeaway is that when you're building a team, you want to build a team that can have sustainable success that hopefully results in a championship, which are extremely hard to attain, as we know. You really have to work on establishing, developing, working every day in an identity of who we are. And that's above and beyond everything else. Everyone knew, not only in our building, but externally, who the Detroit Pistons were during that time. How we were going to play basketball, how we were going to go about scouting basketball, how we were going to go about coaching basketball, how we're going to go about making business decisions, surrounding the team, trades, free agent signings, all those things were all grouped together based on what our identity was and is and who we are. And I think that's so important. If you study the successful franchises in any sport over the history, more times than not, and I would argue probably almost every time, there is a defined identity of who we are or who they are, and you did everything in your organization on a consistent daily basis that reflected that identity, and that's what's key.
Yeah, I think that identity aspect.
Yes, there you go. Obviously easy to say, but I love what I'm hearing. Because there's only been a couple times in Kings history, and they've been brief periods where it felt like we know who the Kings are, what they're about. Everything they do is all about this. And that, just top of my head, it's the Weber era with Jeff Petrie and Rick Adelman and, of course, Doug Christie. And then we just had it ever so briefly during the Beam Team era. It was just a flicker.
Was it just one season?
It was there pretty much. It was there, and then it was gone. But here's somebody coming in to take over who recognizes how essential it is.
Listening to that shows me partially where the Kings went wrong. And he's 100% right. From top to bottom, you got to have an identity, and everybody has to be on the same page with it. How many times have we talked about Monty and Mike? Maybe not even, like if you're coaching, GM aren't even on the same page in terms of where they want to go, the roster. It's going to be hard to put out a winning team.
Yes.
And I think, I should have paid more attention to that when it first came out, because that showed us just a little bit of a window in the cracks at the foundation that we had here.
Mm-hmm. Then the question becomes, all right, well, who's going to figure out what that identity is? Coach Christie talked about the identity that he wanted his team to have, but he's not the one bringing in the groceries.
Right.
So if he has an idea, this is of what their identity is, but ownership and the GM doesn't share that idea, you're not going to get very far. So it's going to be interesting to see how they sort all this out and who actually gets to make that decision. And hopefully it's the general manager of the basketball team, Scott Perry, who will be able to decide this is the identity we as a basketball team and organization are going to have.
Well, I mean, it would be disappointing if a guy with Scott Perry's background, his history, his experience is cut at the knees, like unable to make decisions. I mean, and here's the thing about Scott Perry. He's familiar with the Kings organization. He knows how it operates.
Mm-hmm.
He's been here. He's heard the stories also. And so considering what may have happened to Monty, if you're Scott Perry, isn't that like the first question you ask and try to figure out? It's like, hey, I don't want what happened to that guy. If I'm coming here,
right,
I need to have the freedom to make these decisions.
I don't have time for that.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. You would hope that conversation was had if he was going to be hired.
Yeah. So, like we say, easy to say. There's so many things they have to sort out. Who's going to coach the team? And then what do you do with your stars? And is it going to look like last year? Are you trying to fix where the team was last year? Or do you have to try to head in a new direction? To me, if they're trying to fix the roster they had last year, I don't think that's going to work. I'm not saying get rid of everybody, but, just, we want a veteran team, older guys, and we're still going to be competitive. It's just.
But when you say that, Whitey, I'm trying to figure it out because fixing it can mean I identify these two guys as my pillars, and I'm going to trade one of them, like the third guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's fixing it.
Yes.
Could that, or are you talking like our big three we need to move on from in your eyes?
If somebody looks at it and says, we got our big three and we just need to put better pieces around them, to me, it's like,
all right, so moves outside of the big three. If it's just that, then so you think a pillar got to go.
Yeah, it seems like it. And it seems like a good time for it, too, given just the direction of everything and the way things went last year. When you show up for that, you didn't show up for the play-in game at home. There could be no clearer sign to me than that you have to make some big changes. I don't care whose fault it is, but the way it is now, you always say it's unacceptable. That was unacceptable, so there have to be changes.
Is it more about who you bring in or who leaves? Meaning, can you keep your big three and still add a guy that's good enough, point guard a la, let's say,
Derrick
that
White
helps this out? My boy, Derrick White. Jay, I would sign up for Derrick White. I would fly to Boston and bring him back with me as my +1 on my Southwest Buddy Pass. That's how much my companion pass. That's how much I like Derrick White. Or if we go out there and I'm gonna put that on the back, but I'm talking about type of player, a Drew Holiday type or somebody like that. Drew Holiday is a 4th or 5th option on the Celtics, right? I know he's being paid like more, but is a guy like that good enough?
My opinion, if that's the feeling that we have some good pieces, we need to add a point guard. We need to bring in a veteran point guard, Drew Holiday, or let's bring in Chris Paul and add him, and we'll be back on track. To me, if you do that, you're in that stage where you got to work twice as hard just to stay as good as you were last year. I don't think that's the road forward. You're not going to accomplish anything. Do you think? I mean, I just don't think that's the best path forward.
I don't know if it has to be done immediately, though. Like, if the offers aren't there, why do the offers aren't there?
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
And
we don't want to get rid of somebody just to get rid of
somebody. Just to get rid of someone. And the thing about it, you got to see what's out there, obviously. Like I said earlier, I think everything's on the table. If I'm coming in, everything is on the table. I'm calling every team. I'm talking about every player, like everything, especially because you're a new guy on the job. With that being said, if you can't, like, do you agree this team underachieved in terms of record-wise?
Yeah.
Should they have been better?
Yeah.
Now, considering they only had Zach, JV, and DeMar together for 30 games or whatever it was, could they be better? Like, could they be a 45-win team with those guys? And is that good enough in the time being? Or are you looking to revamp everything to fast track our way to top 4 seed?
We'll tackle that when we come right back. Take a quick timeout. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Northwest Exteriors.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman in the KCRA3 Weather Center. A light north breeze Monday night keeps valley temperatures in the low 50s Tuesday morning. Plenty of sun, a warm afternoon, highs in the mid-80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
Northwest Exteriors wants to keep you cool all season long. Trusted in Sacramento for heating and cooling systems. Book your tune-up today as part of our 30th anniversary special. Call 888-TRUST-NW or visit trustnorthwest.com.
Simply the best. Trust Northwest.
You know how it is when it's on the line, whether you're playing baseball, you got a lead, or you need somebody to finish for you playing basketball. You need a big-time closer, and you need a big-time closer, especially when it comes to your garage door. And that's why I proudly recommend National Garage Door. Whitey Gleason here for National Garage Door. Whether you're looking to repair an existing door, maybe get a brand new one installed, or as I like to say, maybe you're not sure what's wrong with your garage door, you need help, you need National Garage Door. Family owned and operated. They've been around since 1974. And that's because service is their number one priority. National Garage Door are the region's BSC, Broken Spring experts. Styles, prices, quality of the new doors. Really surprising and pleasant surprises at that. You can trust National Garage Door. I've known the family for a long time. You want value. You want somebody who's going to give you a great price, great service, and treat you with respect. You want National Garage Door. They sell quality Rainer branded garage doors. They offer sales, service, and installation on all residential and commercial doors and operators. If you have garage door needs, the old one's coming apart, you're looking to improve your curb appeal, let National Garage Door come through for you in the clutch and be your big-time closer like they were for me. 916-638-4554, National Garage Door.
Save $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 LT and RST 5.3 in stock at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. After all rebates. And Maida Chevy still has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $12,750 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
First trading 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
How about this from Tony Ray Harvey in the chateau? He says, the Sacramento Kings left the local media with a carnage of content to work with this offseason. There won't be one dull day from here to training camp. None, says Tony Ray Harvey. Now, what was
that Tony Ray?
Yeah.
Or Amadra? Oh, that's Tony Ray. Sorry
Tony Ray
about
Harvey.
that. Yeah. Yeah, I see it there. All right, sorry about that.
That's all right. Now, what was the nonsense you were spouting before we went to break about
What
we've only had 25 games. We could still win 45 games with this team.
No, I was asking the question.
Yeah.
Can you? And is that part of the steps of moving forward, or is that just sort of staying where you are?
Yeah. I don't know how you see it. To me, you have to try to be objective. We get emotional about this player or that player, this game or that game, that play, and you can't be that way. You have to look at it objectively. Doesn't matter whose fault it is or why it doesn't work. It either works or it doesn't. And to me, there's no way you can stay the course with what you ended the season with. There's just no way. Nobody wins. DeMar probably. And by the way, what did you guys think of that horrible situation with that clown that stuck the phone in DeMar's face?
Yeah.
Are we sure it's serious? Are we sure that guy's all there?
No.
I mean,
Jay, you saw that too, right? That
yeah,
video?
I did.
I know everyone is. We're all
Yeah,
saying the
tough,
right same
yeah.
things, but I just wondered, like, is that guy okay?
Was that really him in the ambulance and he's posting and everything?
I'm not
And
sure.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
The first thing I looked was, where was DeMar at? Sounds like he was in Calabasas,
Yes,
LA
yes,
area
yes.
type
Yeah.
situation. But yeah, the tough part about that is DeMar is a person. He is an individual, he is human.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes people cross the line and, deciphering on if you believe that gentleman crossed the line or not. But that's a tough situation to be in. And unfortunately, DeMar reacted the way he did, and he going to handle it. And that he felt he handled it. Yes.
Yeah. And I understand all that. And I understand that everyone's very supportive of DeMar DeRozan, but, I just haven't seen the videos, and I just wondered, is that guy in his right mind? Does he even know what he's doing?
I think I'm with you with certain instances.
Yeah. Which doesn't excuse it. It doesn't. Yeah. But that was unfortunate, to say the least, Drapes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And, he rolled up on him and, put his phone right in his face, the light on and everything. It was unfortunate. And then he said, I think the guy said he's like his hero or something like that, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Something don't seem quite right. You might be right about that, Whitey. Maybe the dude isn't all there right now. I'm looking at Zach LaVine's numbers right now in a Kings uniform here. So mind me. I'm just looking at the sample size, if you will. They lost 18 games with Zach. 1, 2, 3. I'm talking games he played.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 18.
Do you think it's possible that they didn't reach the potential as they were at the end of the year and that there's still something there? To me, it's pretty clear, like, no.
So when they play excellent basketball on the road against Cleveland, are we just saying, it's just one of those days? Or is there potential there? Like, maybe there is a flicker of something.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, not only that game, but then you win the next night.
And then you win against Detroit also. And so I just think, from being around the team, because they did look good sometimes, Whitey. I can't not argue that. They looked really good at times. And part of me wonders, with some tweaks to the roster, with a point guard, and I don't know how you get them, but, I'm just saying, if you make that change, and we're talking champion, like, I'm not talking championship. I mean, because for that, you have to have a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking better than what we saw this season. I think they're a better team than what their record indicated. Yes.
To me, it's like a really nice car. I mean, a previously owned, pre-owned, and sometimes it just doesn't start. When it does start, it's great. Performs at a high level, gets you where you need to go. But to me, when you are playing that big game to advance, to keep your season alive, and that card doesn't start, it's like
when you need it the most.
Yes. Then it's like, I can't rely on this car. I have to get a new car.
But is that enough time, though?
To me, it is.
And I think we have to, and I'm going to call a spade here. That's what we do here on the Drive, guys.
By the way, says hire Kyle Draper as GM.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I do a hell of a job. But here's the thing.
Let me get that assistant GM.
Yeah, I got you.
Liaison.
I'm not even applying.
You be my Westworld guy. No, you can be my Shannon or something like that. You can do something. But no, seriously. When I look at the coaching staff and them not even all being on the same page, how can you ask the players on the court? So when to Scott Perry's point, when the foundation is shaky, and I'm talking from an organizational standpoint, how can we expect the results to be good? Maybe it's the foundation, the organization, the coaching staff behind the scenes, the turmoil during the season, the trades. Maybe they're shaky from that. And if you solidify that, stabilize that, come on, guys, we got to call it what it is. These guys were not put in their best possible position to succeed. Should they have gone out like they did, flaming out the way they did against Dallas? No. But there were some trying times on the floor and behind the scenes.
And there were injuries too.
And I'll be honest, we've all worked at places where maybe we're not a fan of management or don't believe in management. It's a crummy place to work or something like that. Do you give your all? Do you give a full 100%? When you know management doesn't have your back, when you know are treating you a certain way. And so I look at our shortcomings, 40 and 42, as this was the worst possible season behind the scenes, let alone on the court. If things are a mess behind the scenes, how can it be good on the court?
That's a great question. To me, the problem was more than that. Those are all factors. The fit didn't seem to be there with my three best players. Even 25.
But Whitey, sorry to cut you off, but if the coaching isn't drawing up, if the coaching isn't on par, how does that
But at some point, it's not on the coaches. That's a fair point. But at some point, when they look like they don't have any idea what they're doing and they don't fit together, and too often I'm going to ISO down the stretch and Zach LaVine's not getting the ball. And sometimes it seems like, does he even want the ball? To me, the signs are clear, like that your big three, this roster, it doesn't fit. And again, I don't care whose fault it is. Maybe it's nobody's fault, but to me, it's really a huge gamble and not a smart one to say, all right, we'll double down on it because I still think there's something there. Well, maybe you're right, but I would not do that.
See, the problem is, as a GM, you should always look at improving your roster no matter what you have.
Of course.
Right. And so unless you're a champion and you're the Boston Celtics and steamrolled everybody, they're the only ones that should be thinking, let's run it back. Everybody else should be like, what can we do? So I'm not saying don't improve the roster, Sacramento. Yeah, I'm also not. But I'm not saying blow it up either. Like I don't know, man, and that's why we're sitting here. And Scott Perry is going to get the job. He has to make that decision. But does he believe in DeMar, Zach, and Domas, or Keegan making a leap? Go out there and make a sign a free agent or a minor trade or something like that. That's on him. But I think honestly, his first move has to be figuring out that coaching staff.
Yeah.
That Doug did a hell of a job. But you're losing Luke Laux. You lost Mike Brown. Those aren't your assistant coaches. Great guys. We understand that. They work hard. They did their best. But if the head coach's philosophy doesn't even jive with the assistant coach's philosophy, how are you supposed to put a winner out on the floor?
Those are good points, but I think the underlying problems are deeper than that. Those are factors. But I have a team that doesn't shoot well. 2 years ago, like the beam, they shot the lights out of the ball. They shot great. It's been 2 full seasons now where they haven't done that. Mm-hmm. I need better shooters. Zach 100% addresses that. I need better shooting. And defensively, as an organization, I have to commit more to the importance of defense. Because when I have Zach and I have DeMar and I have Domas on the floor, the numbers say it, the eye test says it, that's really bad defensively. It's a really bad defensive team. And I just think you're really making it hard to improve unless you address those 2 issues. And it's hard to do if those are my 3 best players, in my opinion.
So wait, Whitey, if I'm hearing correctly, you would rather deal with the players than the coaches first?
Well, you have to. No, I'm just saying I'm not blaming the coaches. I'm not saying this team underperformed because of the coaches.
Right.
It's a factor. You got to get the head coach first. But if I understood Drapes correctly, he's saying you maybe can't judge the way the team played because the coaching situation was so unsettled. And I'm saying that's fair, but I think to my eye, I've seen enough from this group of players to know that it's a really risky combination, especially with how bad they are defensively.
How I view it, Jay and Whitey, is sorry to go to this extreme, but it's almost like blaming the kids instead of the parents. Well, what do you expect when the parents are messed up, or not on the same page, dysfunctional? And so to your point, yeah, everybody, they need more shooting. Yep, everybody needs that. Defense, most teams need that. We all need that. But to say Zach, DeMar, and Domas don't work, it's like saying these are bad kids when the parents, the home life isn't good. Well, they're not bad kids. They just haven't been put in a nurturing position to succeed.
They can't guard anybody. I don't care who their parents are. They can't guard people.
All right,
so it's a bad combination.
So tell me this. Riddle me this real quick, Mr. Gleason. When I look at the Denver Nuggets, and they're, a good team. Jokic ain't guarding nobody. MPJ ain't guarding nobody. They got 2 defenders. Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon. The other 3 guys ain't defending.
As a team, they defend light years better than the Kings.
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's because of defensive principles. Maybe because of that's coaching. They don't have lockdown defenders, but as a team. So the question is, can we institute with Keegan Murray and Keon, or whoever the point guard is, can we institute a defensive strategy? Because what I saw was a lack of a defensive game plan against Dallas that let Klay Thompson hit the same damn shot 3 or 4 times in a row in the second quarter.
I just think it's been 3 years of bad defense. Bad defense, slightly improved defense, terrible defense. That tells me I need to pay more attention as an organization. Coaching-wise, player-wise, organizationally, I need to give more of an emphasis to defense. We'll come right back with a look at how long until the rabbit has the gun for the Kings next on Sacktown Sports.
Breaking: the Sacramento Kings and Scott Perry have finalized a deal for him to become the next GM of the Kings. Keep it here for up-to-date breaking Sacramento Kings news. Sacktown Sports 1140.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota. From city streets to open highways, Toyota's legendary reliability is built for every road ahead. Right now, get a low-cost lease on a versatile 2025 RAV4 hybrid, or shop the industry's best lineup of hybrid SUVs with a 2025 Grand Highlander hybrid and stylish 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. Toyota, let's go places.
Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 4/30/25.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
I had missed this quote from Doug Christie. Maybe you guys saw it. It was in the B 3 days ago. Doug Christie, driven by his love for the Kings, their fans in the community, he doesn't appreciate some of the things that people are saying about the Kings. I assume he's talking about Brian Windhorst, things like that. Quote, when you hear the narratives that are written by people who are not here and just have random stuff to say, it irks me because they don't know. It's an incredible fan base. It's an incredible organization. And when it's right and you're going around beating the hell out of people, not a lot of people have a lot to say. When you're getting your butt beat, they got a lot to say, and I feel you. But when that tide turns and the rabbit has the gun, we'll see. So how far are we from the day when the rabbit has the gun?
One move away.
Can Scott Perry?
He said one move away.
Like this ain't the one thing I think that's being super lost is, and like I heard the Nugget conversation, I heard the Kings conversation. The one thing about that is they have Jokic. Jokic will eliminate a lot of what you're doing wrong, right? And so I just think the Kings need to get lucky. They have to get lucky. And a lot of these teams, let's call it what it is. They get lucky in many different ways. Like Jokic was a luck pick. No one saw Jokic was like, you know what, this guy's going to be a 2-time MVP. Like, that was luck. That was pure luck. The Kings have tried the wrong ways. I totally understand that. I'm definitely with there, but they need to get lucky. They're really one move away. I'd say this. We talked about the draft. They get lucky and get Cooper Flag. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, Whitey?
Well, then there's a lot of excitement.
But are we talking about your luck has completely changed and now we're looking at it a different narrative?
Yeah, but that's highly unlikely.
Yeah, but
we're talking about fairy tales.
But so was Jokic. Right? So was Steph Curry. Like, what I'm saying to you is I think they're really one move away from a lucky move, but changing their narrative.
Are you saying the one move away that they are is landing a generational player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really hard to do.
Very true. That's why I said luck. Gotta have a rabbit foot in your pocket. Gotta have the rabbit foot in your pocket. More times than not, a generational player You either got lucky with the draft pick or you got lucky.
Mm-hmm. Have the Kings, I'm not arguing with you on this, I'm just thinking out loud. Have the Kings ever had anybody approaching a generational player?
Yeah, Weber was.
Mm-hmm.
Weber was.
Yeah. See Webb.
For me, Weber was.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Outside of that.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Well, yeah, then, that gets you back, in my opinion, to that conversation of tanking, because tanking gives you the best shots at getting somebody like that, even though it doesn't guarantee it. And we know they're not going to do that. I think we know that. And I don't think any of us in this room anyway really want them to even go that route.
Nah, I mean, we're at such a low point right now. Here's the question. If you're the organization, how do you win the offseason?
You did that last year, and what did it get you?
Well, but you got to do it again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to give fans something to get excited about. Like, is it, making a big trade, like you're saying? Is it hiring a new coach? Like, I don't know what it is, but you can't rip it down and then expect people to show up again.
No, I agree with you.
Like,
I agree.
from a business standpoint, you can't do that.
On that.
Yeah.
Like we've said, you could make a strong case that that's what they should do, but they're probably not going to do that, and none of us would be in favor of that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I'm not arguing with you on that.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But I will, fellas, I would say for myself, and I may be speaking for myself, I think you give up any and everything to get a generational, as close to as possible, a generational player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that for me, if I'm Scott Perry, I'm definitely calling around and say, you can have absolutely anything.
Oh, are you talking about Zion?
I'm talking about anything to get a generation, as close to a generational player that you believe is that. And whoever you see as a generational player, which could be Zion for sure, I'm trying to get it. And whatever it's going to take me to get it, you can have it. Because I think the reset of, I think both of you guys are talking about a reset. It's just all about how you get there through the reset, right?
Yeah.
And so however you choose to reset your team completely is up to Scott Perry, it sounds like, if they get the deal done. But I also think getting a generational player allows you and buys time, if you're the Kings and Scott Perry, to say, hey, just hold on. If I give you a little something, just hold on. And I think that's the difference. A lot of teams don't do that for players. I mean, don't do that for fans. If they tear it all the way down, it's all the way down. We're going to see third and G League guys and all that type of stuff, where it's like, just give me that one guy that we need to build maybe a season or two away to be that player.
Well, you're right. It takes so much luck, because as Drapes points out, whenever we talk about OKC, their best player is Shea. And, they tore it down, and they got a lot of draft picks. They converted. They drafted some really good players, but he's the best of them, and they didn't know he was going to be that when they got him.
Right. And you had a Paul George that the Clippers really wanted. Who's our Paul George?
I think we might got a few of those. I'd rather not name them, but
do you think so? I
think there may be one or two.
I don't think our guys have the value of a Paul George right now. That's like, I don't know if any of our players are getting back a young potential MVP candidate.
Go to that trade for me, Drapes. Do you happen to know it off the top of your head?
What,
like
Clippers?
Paul George? Yeah.
Paul George trade?
Yeah. Shea, a first or
no,
multiple
first, two?
It was two.
Yeah. More than that, dude. I'm telling you.
It was more than that?
Yeah. I'll pull it up right now. Paul George trade with the Clippers. Because remember, they wouldn't get Kawhi unless they got Paul George. So they were desperate
They were over
to
a
get
barrel.
that. They were over a barrel. Here you go, right here. For Gallinari, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, a 2021 first rounder, a 2022 first rounder, a 2023 first rounder, a 2024 first rounder, a 2025 first rounder, and some pick swaps as well. Like, you're talking 4 or 5 first round picks and Paul George to get, or Paul George netted that haul. We're not getting that kind of haul.
Because
for
like
any
you
of our
say,
guys.
OKC had the leverage there.
Yeah.
And the Kings don't have that kind of leverage now, because it's more like teams know, like, oh, if that's the route they decide to pursue, you're trying to get rid of those guys. We don't necessarily want them.
Right.
They have no leverage. By the way, this is neither here nor there, but do you know how long Sam Presti's been with the Thunder?
20 years?
He's been with them since they were the Sonics.
Really?
He was hired in 2007 to be the general manager.
Wow, 2007?
Yeah.
Working on 20 years almost.
He's like a foundational player almost.
Wow.
He's a founding
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Right, he is, right?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
Damn.
The only thing I say with the Paul George situation is the Clippers knew they were getting Kawhi, so they, like you said, they were over a barrel. They pretty much,
But, and they were
played
like, that's
position.
fine. We want Paul George.
We want, for Kawhi. We know we're getting both.
Yeah. Boy, when Kawhi and James Harden are playing well, that team,
They look good.
can't sleep on that team.
They look
huh?
good. Yeah. Man, OKC and say, but here's the thing, too, fellas. What has OKC won?
Not a thing.
What has Utah won?
Not a thing.
Brooklyn, all these
Not a thing.
Sixers tank in the
Not a
process.
thing.
What
Yeah,
have
but
they won?
OKC hasn't won anything yet, except they're the best record in the West 2 years in a row, and they're very young, and they still have draft picks, and they're still getting better.
But how long
They haven't
did
won
it take?
anything yet.
How long did it take?
How long did it take?
Yeah, how long did it take?
That Paul George trade was 2019.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're talking
5
about
years, 5, 6
easy.
years.
But prior to that, how long? What did they do before that?
Well, they were, they had that weird Russ and
CP3.
Carmelo and Paul George team.
Right.
So they were still like, they were not terrible.
So
they were still a playoff
You
team.
guys are good with 6 years of. I don't think we're gonna do much.
No. I can't stomach that. I would rather
5 years. We're not gonna do too much. But we got all the
several
picks and we
years,
got
right.
a generational
I
star.
don't even buy green bananas anymore.
right. We got time. Tomorrow not promised, right, Whitey? Right. No, but here's the thing, fellas. We don't need, we all want a championship team. But damn, can we at least get a second round playoff team here and there? Like you don't have to hit a home run, but at least give me a double or give me something. Get me a man on second.
You're okay with maybe not down the road knowing that you're going to win a championship, but you at least want to make some playoffs. Is that what I'm hearing? Or you saying
versus blowing it up and bottoming out?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
That's part of the problem organizationally for years and years and years. 16 years, it was about, we got to make the playoffs. Then once they did, it was like, well, now what do we do? They didn't seem to know where to go from there. It's like, we made the playoffs. What more do you want? So now here we are.
Can you do both?
Later. What's that?
Make the playoffs and build towards the championship?
I think that's what they've been trying.
Yeah.
Celtics did it. Celtics only missed the playoffs 1 year. Right. They missed the playoff 1 year in their rebuild.
I feel like you need to get just a little younger to have a shot at that. If you're not going to tear it down, and we don't want to tear it down, I'm not saying retool, but I feel like they need an infusion of youth this offseason.
Even if that means the next 5 years you don't do nothing.
No.
Okay.
I don't want that.
Okay.
I consider that part of that tear down,
Gotcha.
which we've all, I think, agreed, like, we don't want any part of that. But I do think you need an infusion of youth on your roster. Otherwise, it just gets harder and harder and harder to ward off that inevitable decline where you're going to have a really expensive old team and you're going to be winning 37 games a year.
But you got some first rounders coming up too. By then too, don't you? You know.
Thank you, Monty.
Yeah, you got a couple first rounders that aren't yours that you're going to have, and ideally, if you're the Kings, you build now, and then you find a desperate team, a la Brooklyn was with the Celtics years ago, because it seems like right now we're kind of the desperate team. Maybe like, how do we get? Maybe it's Charlotte, Washington. Somebody who thinks, oh man, if we had this guy or that guy, that'll put us over the top. We'll give up 3 first rounders for him, 2 pick swaps or something. We need a desperate team out there.
Yeah, let's just look at the upcoming lottery. Are there any teams in there that might want to at least give the Kings a pick in the first round? We'll look at that when we come back to Sacktown Sports.
It's Carmichael Dave talking to you about my good friends at American Energy. You're in the Sacramento area. You know how the seasons work. They are a-changing right now. So American Energy wants to help you stay warm for the rest of the cold season, but help you stay cool during the warm season. Best way to do that, make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of half off a tune-up, $24.50. They cut that right in half, and if you want a diagnostic, guess what? You can't beat free. If it's free, it's me, and now it can be you. And also, it's the end of the season blowout. $4,000 off a new system plus any rebates. That $4,000, that's a direct drop from the sticker price. It's a great deal. Check them out at theaeway.com or an instant quote, or give them a call at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. Introducing all new high-limit slots, showcasing over 260 exciting slots, impeccable service, premium amenities, and action that's unmatched.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
It's the final days of the spring sales event. Drive home your new Honda before the deals and the new Hondas disappear. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
The Knicks and the Pistons are underway. 4:56 left first quarter. It's a 1-point game. Detroit leading. Playoffs so far have been a lot of fun. I got to tell you guys, I don't know if you feel this way. I just feel like the officials are allowing too much. There's one thing to be said, a lot to be said for physical basketball and allowing guys to play physical basketball. But I think we're seeing guys go to the basket and get hit in the head and there's no calls, guys all the time now, and respected guys like Kawhi going to the basket and then hey, I got hit in the head. Doesn't that have to be a foul? I think they're letting too much go in the interest of, I don't know, game flow, I guess.
Well, yeah, I agree. But I also think too, Whitey, it's so inconsistent. They are letting a lot go. But then sometimes it's ticky-tack calls, and it's that's not a foul.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the flagrant on against Tatum yesterday? Who were they playing against? Orlando. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
He hit the ground. They called a flagrant. And it was
when Mazzulla said, "Get up!"
Yeah. When Mazzulla said it, but it wasn't it's on one hand, to your point, they, we want it to be physical. They're playing, letting everything go. And then another, it's ticky-tack stuff. It's the inconsistency is what bothers me, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. But to me, even if it's consistently, if you're allowing fouls when people are driving to the basket, to me, something's lost. And I know a lot of people disagree, and especially people who've watched it a long time, like me. Some people are like, no, this is the way it used to be. This is what playoff basketball should be. And I appreciate them allowing people to play, but the guy drives to the basket and gets hit in the head or something. Yeah. That's why you have rules.
Right.
You have to call a foul there.
Well, and that's the thing. People always talk about, back in the day and, LeBron couldn't play in the 90s and all this against those Knicks teams. basketball was not that good then.
Right.
Like the attendance was down, the viewership was down. It's a much better product right now. And so what's so great about basketball is the players' creativity, their skill. When you when you allow the defense to get very handsy and physical, that takes away from it. It's like giving the defense the advantage in football. Almost, we outlaw the illegal forward pass or something. You got to have 6-3 ball games, and it's like nobody wants to see that.
What do you think of this from the 530 on the text line here? Do what we have to do to keep Jake LaRavia. It's not actually a question, it's a statement. Do you think the Kings have a shot? Jake LaRavia is saying all the right things.
Do what we have to do.
Do what we have to do to keep Jake LaRavia.
We can't do much, though. That's the thing, right? I mean,
only if he's willing to work with Scott Perry.
Right.
And that's the other thing. Scott Perry may say,
yeah, right.
I have no idea.
I could find another one of those guys out there.
Yeah.
It's I need to look at the Kings cap situation. We know Jake first year in his deal, the most he can make is 5.1. And so I don't think it's like you're kind of hamstrung about what you can do. You can't offer him $30 million to keep him or anything like that.
If he wants to work with you, I mean, he's cost effective. It would be foolish not to keep him, right? Because he does. Clearly, there's things that he brings to the party, and clearly some of those are things that you need. So I'd be very surprised if he said, yeah, let's work something out. I want to stay. I'd be stunned if they don't want to keep him. But it just depends on his willingness to stay here for less than he could get somewhere else.
That's the thing. And, I hate to say it, maybe the injury, sullied his value a little bit out there on the open market. Teams might not be willing to give him as much because, he didn't finish the season. And so maybe that helps the Kings out. But I do like Jake. We missed him, I thought. His energy off the bench, we missed him, I thought.
Do you think there's anybody here in this first round that might be willing to talk with you about giving you a spot, getting back into the first round, assuming they lose the pick? And I know they could win the lottery. You got 1 through 14 here. It's Utah, Washington, Charlotte, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Toronto, San Antonio. Houston gets that pick. Portland, Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta, San Antonio. I would think that you might have of course you'd have a better chance if you go out of the lottery where you got OKC, Orlando, Minnesota, Miami, Washington, again, Brooklyn, Utah, Atlanta, Indiana, Orlando, OKC. OKC still they have a ton of picks there.
Yeah, they got a lot
Brooklyn, Boston, Phoenix, LA Clippers. What do you think is the most enticing thing you have to offer if you wanted to get back into the first round? It would probably be Domas, right? And I'm just saying, forget how you feel about him. But if you're just looking, what do I have that teams want the most? Wouldn't he probably be it?
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. His contract's going to be pretty big too, though. That's that's an issue, obviously. But in terms of age and production, he would probably be your best.
And he's led the league in rebounding. Is it 3 years in a row now?
3 years in a row.
So he's, as far as his market value based on his performance, it's about as high as it's going to get.
Yep.
I know this wasn't his greatest year, but he's still the last 3 years. Double machine. If you're looking to reset, I think it starts there. That may be the toughest question. What can you get for him?
Well, I don't think looking at, the reverse standings and everything, I don't think any team would be interested in trading their lottery pick this year.
I agree.
For Sabonis. I don't think any team would. So then you're talking out of lottery. Look at that. Miami.
OKC. They got 40 picks.
But they got good bigs already. They got Hartenstein. They got Chet Holmgren. Yeah. I'm looking. Miami.
Miami might be interested. That was one of those silly proposed trades I saw somewhere. Yeah, for like Wiggins and a pick and
you're like, no, you don't want
Duncan Robinson.
You're like, you don't want any part of that. You don't want any part of that. Let me look here. Why do you have Memphis? No. Milwaukee, Minnesota.
I like the idea in theory, but when I actually look at it, it's really hard to imagine any of these teams going, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like Indiana's going to want him back.
See, I beg to differ. I think Keegan is your star chip. I think if you're dangling Keegan, you're getting some phone calls.
Yeah, I'd agree with you in that. I was just thinking, well, I definitely don't want to trade him, but I think you're right. He's probably worth the most. I had him out of my mind.
Is he worth how much? What's his value, do you think? I don't know if he's worth an unprotected first-round pick.
I think he's worth one. I'd venture to say one.
And is that
and a player?
Would we do that?
That's
and when you say
like
and a player, like,
what are my odds of getting, if I get a first-round pick, what are my odds of getting somebody as good as him
right.
at wherever?
And that team will, that first rounder, like you said, 19. Like,
yeah.
See, I'm with you guys on the value, and I've reached out to a couple of guys that we might be able to get on this week as far as like valuing some of our players, and who knows, it's just guesses, but I'm a little higher on Domas than I think most people are, but I believe Keegan, and I've been on board saying this, you need to sign Keegan for 30 or plus more because of his placeholder, because he's a rookie and extension and all those things. And because of the cap, he's probably going to be your third or fourth highest paid player. And the fact that he's still 25 years old, moving forward, I think people will, if Cam Johnson is as valued as we believe he is, and really, I think that's one pick with a couple of solid guys, I think the Nets would have spun on him if they got 2 first-round picks. I think they didn't spend on him because they didn't get 2 first-round draft picks. I think Keegan's the same player, and that's why I really wasn't high on Cam Johnson. I think they're really the same guy.
Yeah, I do think Domas would get you more than, I think he'd have more value in the open market
than Keegan.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, think about it, too. Look at his contract. And to Jay's point about Keegan, Domas making $40+ million. You got to include some pretty pricey players to get to that
veterans,
point.
For sure.
Veterans, to get to that point. You're not, getting rid of somebody on a rookie deal, and that'll, get it done. You got to, who's a free agent? Bobby Portis, I believe, is a free agent.
He is.
Ooh, we've been after him for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. Well, it just hit me. I don't know, man. I think Miles Turner.
We have no money.
No, but I'm saying if you make some moves and everything like that, and I'm looking at our cap situation here, we'd have to renounce some rights to some guys as well. Trey Lyles is a free agent, so he has a cap hold right now. So we'd have to say, we're going to renounce our rights to some of these guys to get some cap space. But outside of that, there's nobody else really. I mean, unless you're making a big trade. So I'm looking at this upcoming season. Zach at 47.5. Domas at 43.6. DeMar at 24.5. Malik at 18.7. That's a lot of money right there. Now you're talking $130 million right there. JV at 10. Keegan has that option that the team is going to pick up at 11. And then Carter, Laravia, the option, but at 5.1, the qualifying offer, if you will. Keon at 2.3. Man, we got to do something with Keon also, actually, this offseason. I just noticed that. We got to do something with Keon as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
You really have to, I think if you're looking at the numbers, fellas, you're going to have to spend one of the big contracts, and you might just have to eat a couple of veterans, like wily veterans for this year. Might not be what you want to do, but if you want to move off one of those big $40 million deals, and I truly believe DeMar has some value too. And I think DeMar, knowing who DeMar is, I could see DeMar putting a feet to the fire and say, y'all need to move me too, because I might got 1 or 2 more left and I don't see it here.
Would he be tricky to move? We'll look at that when we come back. We'll answer a question here in the chat too about Scott Perry and his contract. That and more next with the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports. Happy Monday.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Whitey here with another great grilling tip. The Napoleon Stainless Steel Prestige 500 Connected Propane Grill with infrared side and rear burner featuring Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity brings you closer to your grilling experience than ever before. The Napoleon Connected lets you monitor temperatures, set timers, and receive high temp warnings. Boop, boop. All from your smartphone with temperature probes and LCD display. You'll always know exactly what's happening inside your grill. Napoleon's LED control knobs even illuminate for nighttime entertaining and feature safety glow. Napoleon Grills, simply the best.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Grab the keys to a new fuel-efficient Toyota. More miles, fewer fill-outs. Toyota hybrids are built to go the distance with legendary dependability and head-turning style. Get a low-cost lease on a new 2025 Prius or shop deals on 17 Toyota hybrid models from the longest-lasting brand on the road. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care. 2 years of complimentary maintenance. Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Offers end 4/30/25.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
How about it? Are we going to have a show outing to go see Sinners, the latest from Ryan Coogler?
Yeah, I heard it was great, man. A lot of people talking about it.
It's creepy.
I know it is.
Yeah, I'm with
it looks almost too good and scary.
Yeah, I do want to check it out, though. I do want to check it out. Everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
It's hot, like highly rated and everything.
Yeah. Critics love it. Box office smash. Oh, vampires and blues.
Can't go wrong with that, right?
Quite a combination.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Check that out.
Mm-hmm. Kings fans, of course, have the Blues. And we feel like the Vampires sucked all the joy out of this season. So we're just talking about where you go from here. And how about DeMar DeRozan? He's not making that much money next year, right? But how movable would he be if you wanted to move him, or if he said, yeah, this isn't it. I want to be moved. Here's my question.
Yeah.
The Kings have a team option on him for next year?
No. I believe it's partially guaranteed. Amount not fully guaranteed. The last year of the deal. Not next year. You're talking, which year are you talking
Talking about this upcoming season?
No, it's fully guaranteed, $24.57 million.
Okay. Where is the option?
It's
the third year.
Third year, not fully guaranteed.
Okay.
Like, if you cut them or whatever,
yeah,
you got to pay some of the contract. It's not like they pick up an option. It's not a team option. It's amount not fully guaranteed.
Okay. So, how much interest would there be in DeMar DeRozan? What's your best guess? He put up huge numbers. You pretty much know what you're getting every year. It didn't work out here for him in Sacramento. So who at this point wants him? Where would he want to go? Do you think there's a chance he would want to stay? Obviously, there's a chance.
Yeah,
I know you're not a mind reader.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at just teams. Houston, they could use a scorer, a wing scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, maybe.
Remind me, who was the other team that was in the mix for him beside the Kings?
Miami.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No. They're also, I think Slate said on our show, he said the Warriors talked about it, but it never got very far.
Yeah.
They were looking at him last year, too.
Spurs?
He was there before.
Yeah.
I don't see there as great as he's been and as certain as he is to be a Hall of Famer. I don't think there's going to be a ton of demand for him.
Somebody said Dallas, too.
Hmm.
Wing scorer with Kyrie and AD next year when Kyrie gets back. I don't know. I don't know. That's why we need Bobby Marks. Somebody like that.
Yeah, I just texted him for
you. You got all right. Jay,
Drapes wants to talk to you.
Yeah, Jay's on it.
Jeffrey Simpson here. Thank you, Jeffrey, for listening.
He put his name on.
Yeah. Well, this is on the chat. The Kings and their fan base's consistent refusal to accept the need for a teardown rebuild keeps them perpetually chasing their own tail. OKC had the will and they showed the way. I don't think it's just the fan base, though, Jeffrey, whether the fans had the appetite for it or not. My read on it is that the organization has no interest in it. So, yeah, fans may fans may demand it. I don't think they would get it because I don't think ownership wants to tear it all down.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Simpson, I mean, OKC got lucky. This doesn't happen if the Clippers aren't hell-bent on getting Paul George. You don't get that kind of package. And so, like Jay said earlier, there got to be some luck involved in it too, whether it's drafting or taking advantage of a desperate team.
Yes. But that's true. But they have a guy there that is built. This would be his second championship contender. They haven't won anything yet.
Right.
But, he put together the Durant team with
but that wasn't a teardown. He's talking about a teardown.
Right.
They were just bad.
Right. But you're saying, they got to be lucky, but I'm saying they got somebody at the helm who knows what they're doing, obviously.
Yeah.
They've done a really good job. And by the way, I believe Scott Perry was part of that front office when they drafted Durant.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
exactly. You got to know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
When you do get the picks, you got to hit on them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's and Monty has shown he could hit. Like Tyrese was a hit. He just flipped it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so you can get somebody at 13. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be, well, you won't have your pick this year, but I'm saying you can get somebody that's really an all-star level talent without a full teardown.
Why do you think he fell so far? I remember watching it, wondering,
was it the shot or what? Because he couldn't shoot.
But you look at some of the other guys that
went ahead of him,
like Killian Hayes,
number 7 overall. They missed badly. That's Detroit.
What?
Yeah, they missed badly on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regino says you could trade DeRozan to Houston and get Cam Whitmore and a pick?
I'd like to think you could, but I don't think you could.
Yeah.
Could you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When we get Bobby Marks on this week, that's a question because we're spitballing here. We don't know what the other teams think about our players. Like we just talked about Domas. Who knows? 28, 29 other gyms might be like, because the problem too is our guys, we got tape on now. Like it ain't like these are 2 or 3 year veterans and our guys are who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like it ain't no, diamonds in the rough or come here, he's going to be a different player. And so how many teams, view, some of our guys high enough to give up a lot of assets?
Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Simpson, you don't need a comparable OKC package, but you do need to start accumulating first rounders.
How you do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's tearing it down.
Tear it down.
And going through, 3 to 5 years of struggles right now.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Johnson asked, did the new GM sign a contract yet? Patrick, what we're hearing is, and Jay had this, Jay's sources tell him, Wednesday is when we're going to be introduced, or Scott Perry is going to be introduced to Sacramento. That is not confirmed. It has not been announced, but look for Wednesday. So if he hasn't signed it, they expect he's going to sign it very soon. Somebody wants to know about the Kings and the coin flip with Atlanta. Kings won the coin flip.
Yep.
That just means you're 13th instead of 14th, and the pick is top 12 protected. So don't know that it'll matter. Improves your odds of winning the lottery tiny bit.
That much.
A little tiny bit.
What do you think? When is that draft lottery? What did you say it was?
I don't know when it is. Usually it's May 23rd, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Let me look it up this year. Like, are we going to be waiting with bated breath on that day, or are we just like,
We're Kings fans. We'll say, we don't care. But when it happens, we'll watch, and then we'll be crestfallen.
I know, huh?
When it doesn't pan out.
All right, NBA draft lottery presented by State Farm. It is May 12th.
Ooh.
Yeah, May 12th.
Moving on up.
Yeah, at 6:30.
We got to send Kyle Draper.
Right? I should be the representative, right?
We need to get on that bandwagon.
Yeah. Who's representing the Kings for that one?
Ooh.
Scott Perry?
It would have to be Scott.
Yeah. Damn, I would have loved it.
Didn't they send Sign Lady one year?
Did they?
I don't remember that. Yeah.
Sometimes you send a person who represents good luck to represent the organization. You got to be the guy. We got to send Kyle Draper. You're the one that's been saying they're going to win it. They're going to win it.
They should, man. Bring some of that good luck. I'd be open to going.
Yeah. Maybe your buddy Carmichael Dave. Send him.
Oh, shoot. Dude, Debbie Downer, no thanks. No thanks.
Dave Downer?
Nah.
When we come back here with the playoffs raging already, we'll look at the teams that are already in trouble, even though the playoffs just started. Next with the Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, get in.
What? Who are you?
I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back.
Yeah.
Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Big win for the Warriors last night, of course. Buddy Hield has become almost comic relief for them. You had Steve Kerr a couple weeks ago while he was mic'd up on the sidelines. Buddy, I want to introduce you to the greatest shooter ever. And then post-game last night, you had Jimmy Butler talking about, we got to do this and I got to do this. And then he stops and says, maybe we'll get the audio. Buddy, stop dribbling.
Stop dribbling.
I hate that.
Dang, you're telling an NBA guy your TV. We've been saying that for years around here in Sac, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that the Kings hoped/thought that Buddy Hield might be one of those foundational pieces.
Yeah. That's the thing, Whitey. You got to get it right.
Yeah.
We've had some picks. We've had some chances at it.
Mm-hmm.
Big trade, you bring in Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes. These are all guys people had high hopes for.
Yes.
And they just didn't live up up here in Sac.
Yeah. They both had their moments. Harrison Barnes is probably better than people give him credit for being.
Yeah, he was solid. He was a solid player.
And Buddy Hield is an incredible shooter. It's just the rest of his game.
Yeah, what's Buddy?
Hield's an incredible shooter.
A good six-man at best?
I don't know.
Probably.
He's so, he's on probably the perfect team for him right now.
Yeah.
But I think that was a huge win for them. And even though the playoffs just started, I think the teams that lost at home, game one, I think the Lakers who play tonight, and I think the Rockets, I think they're already in big trouble.
Who?
Both those teams.
Rockets?
The Lakers and the Rockets.
Not at all. Rockets
got beat at their own game last night.
Fred VanVleet was like 4 of 19 or something like that. I didn't think Golden State played well. Like, outside, like their best players were better than the Rockets' best players. That's what it came down to. Jalen Green, and I'll pull it up right here real quick, Whitey. Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, your starting backcourt for the Houston Rockets. These are the guys, going to lead your team offensively. They combined yesterday to shoot 7 of 34.
Now, that's terrible.
That ain't going to happen again.
But they're not a good shooting team.
But they're not 7 of 34 bad either.
No.
But
they're not good.
Like, they held the Warriors to 95.
Mm-hmm.
It was their offense that struck. Like, Fred VanVleet, 4 of 19.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Green, 3 of 15. And we got to remember, Jalen Green is in the spotlight now. He looked like a chicken with his head cut off.
Right.
I thought there is a lot to take away from that game if you're the Houston Rockets. The double big lineup of Steven Adams and Şengün worked. I thought they were excellent. Steven Adams a +4 off the bench, 20 minutes. I thought that gave the Warriors some problems. Steph Curry is great. We understand that. But you can't shoot. You ain't going to beat anybody shooting 39% from the floor. Like, the fact that they only lost by 10, they shot 39%. Warriors shot 47%. If I'm Ime, I'm like, guys, we got to tighten up the defense a little bit, compete a little harder, and knock down shots, and we're good.
Mm-hmm. Knocking down shots is
You hold the Warriors to 95?
Yeah, but you lost the game one.
That
now you got to get a home court back.
And the thing is, and when you talk about the Lakers, LeBron historically loses game one. He actually has a winning record in series when he loses game one. And so I'm not worried about that one. Like, the Minnesota's role players played out of their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels, what did he have? 20-something points? Naz Reid? Lakers got it short. I actually worry more about the Lakers than the Rockets, believe it or not.
To me, the scariest thing from the Lakers standpoint is the way they were hunting, at least Ant was hunting Luka. And Luka can't guard Ant, and Ant knows it. I think Luka knows it too.
Yeah, they got to do a better job of that.
And Jay's boy, Austin Reeves, did not play especially well.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Turtling.
Jay,
Oh, listen to Jay.
The Rockets are in trouble.
I think
You really think
Rockets
so?
in trouble, man.
Tell me why.
Yeah, I'm. First of all, I think they're young. Second of all, I think if there was any game, and I get it, I totally understand Drapes. Game 1, like you said, Jalen Green, I think he's going to play a lot better in game 2 and 3 and 4. I think last night was game 1 and the spotlight, the lights were huge. But I think Jimmy is on another level right now. We know what Steph is about. And the other part about it is I'm not sure when you don't have, and I'll take the argument, but I think the Warriors have the top 2 players in this series on their team. And when it comes down to playoffs, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, and I think the Warriors matched them physically, which for them I think was a little bit of a whoa, because the last couple times they played, it hadn't been like that. And I think that was a little bit.
And I think that's the playoff.
Yeah.
It's like, we flipped the switch now, fellas. This ain't regular season, and that's where I think Jimmy helps them. The one thing I've always said about the Warriors, and that's why I think Draymond, as we talked about Derrick White a lot today, fits the bill for the Warriors so much, is he's the one guy throughout it all that if you're trying to punk anybody, he's going to stand up. I think you could punk a lot of what the Warriors have done. But with Jimmy there, you already seen Jimmy last night. He cussing at fans and he letting people know. He looking at Ime a couple times. Like, I think the Rockets realize, it's a little different.
Yeah, when he made that shot and turned around to Reggie Miller, it's like, you like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
That's a different level.
The Rockets like, they don't
expecting
that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You're right, just one game, but
I could see this. I could see the Rockets winning one game.
Jay.
Okay.
Come on.
We'll see.
Come on.
We'll see. The Lakers, Minnesota, I think the Lakers are bouncing as much as it hurts my heart to say that, but they're in the series. I think the Rockets, they're new, man. They're fresh. They're young. They don't have to show and prove it to me.
Yeah, but it's sort of like I'm watching this game right here, Detroit and New York. I felt like the moment got too bright for Detroit in game 1, and it sort of woke them up, and it's still early, only in the midway through the second, but they're up 10 on the Knicks. I expect that kind of bounce back from the Rockets. It was like, oh, man, it's our first time in the playoffs. We didn't know how intense it was going to be. To me, what I saw is the Warriors seemed like the team that hustled a lot more. Like they were, engaged more.
They're just
like,
a lot more poised.
Playoffs.
No surprise, but it was just stark, the difference.
Yeah, we'll see. When do they play again? Wednesday.
Wednesday,
yeah. They giving Steph and
which
Jim,
also helps them. Yeah,
giving them that rest. Yeah.
You think the fix is in? Is that what you're saying?
No.
I think the Lakers are the same way too,
I think
right?
they play Wednesday too.
Yeah. It's like
letting OGs rest a bit. The fix is in, NBA.
Them, but the NBA, if they had their way, both those teams would advance.
Oh yeah. They want to see
question.
that. Yep, they want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Brunson just hit a step back 3,
and they want that team to advance too. Obviously,
like Jay, you really think 5-game series? Like
I can see it.
That's one where people were thinking 6 or 7. It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be huge.
Nah, the only reason I say that, Drace, is because the Warriors have been there, done that. The Rockets haven't, and until you show me you can do that, you already lost game 1 on the floor. And if you listen to all the press conference, post-game press conference, and I actually watched Bonte and Festus and them last night. I got it. I hear it. But, I mean, we're looking for basketball at this point. But the other part of it, that was the end of all the sports day, so I paid attention to that. You listen to the press conferences from the Warriors, they feel like the series is almost over.
Yeah.
They're not going to say it, but you see it in them. It's like, these dudes is youngsters.
They're
getting ready to run through
great
them.
spot.
Mhm.
Obviously, when Durant left, that left a crater there for that whole franchise. And they'd been trying to fill it, trying to figure out who do we get? Who do we replace Durant with? We get Embiid? Nah, they couldn't get him. They couldn't. Ben Simmons? Nah, it didn't work out. Giannis didn't work out. Briefly, that Poole and Wiggins combined for that 1 year, they made up for Durant, and then things fell apart for them, and they still were looking. Jimmy is filling that void right now. He's a great
It's just one game, though, fellas.
But it's not just one game. It's what they did at the end of the year, and it's the
and
way.
Houston was pretty good, too, though. Like, let's not act like Houston wasn't good.
At the end of the season?
Yeah, Houston
for sure,
was good, too. I mean, I've seen enough basketball to know one game ain't a series. Like, I've seen I've seen teams down 3-2 lose it. I mean, up 3-2 lose. Like
3-1.
3-1. Exactly.
3-0.
I fully and let's not forget, a couple years ago, Warriors were up 3-2 going back game 6 on the Kings in their home floor. Kings went in there and smacked them. Like a series changes so much, especially when the teams are so evenly matched. It's not Cleveland against Miami or like these. Houston's a good freaking team. And I thought Şengün was fantastic. I we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, just that's a key point though. With Jimmy, this Warrior team is not that same team that game 6 against the Kings. Just kind of so
we shall see.
Yes, we shall. And also tonight, game 2, Clippers and Nuggets. Looking forward to that.
What was that boring series? Game 2.
Nobody cares.
Oh, okay.
They decide the league is looking into whether they want to complete.
All right.
The Orlando Boston.
Oh, that Orlando Boston. Oh, yeah.
Sweeping them.
Yeah, they're going to sweep them for sure, it seems like. No, I'm looking forward to tonight. This should be a good one. Clippers should have won game 1. They let that one go. They let that one slip.
It's just you never know what you're going to get with Russ, do you? And he was
great.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah, Coach Adelman said, boy, he's just Russ. And he said, that was probably a few times we should have pulled it out, but if he sees the opportunity, he's going to attack the basket. And Russ says, I missed a lot of shots, but it doesn't matter. You just got to make the plays at the end of the game. It's like, well, it does matter, but that's Russ, right?
Yeah, he was the difference
Russ
maker.
logic.
He won them that game the other day. He had a big 3, couple of steals, offensive rebounds he had.
But he also had the ball at the end of regulation, and they didn't get a shot off. So
yeah,
that's all part of
Russ.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's been definitely a net positive for them. When we come back, is Nico off the hook if Luka and the Lakers get bounced? We'll look at that and continue the Kings conversation as well with the Drive Guys here, Sacktown Sports.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Save $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 LT and RST 5.3 in stock at the Meta Chevy Silverado Supercenter. After all rebates.
And Meta Chevy still has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$12,750 off new Silverado exclusively at the Meta Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MetaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Frustrating 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Spring is here, and that means gigantic savings for all your oil change needs at Jiffy Lube today. Get a $25 gift card with the purchase of any Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic oil change through May 31st at your local Jiffy Lube service center in the greater Sacramento areas. And don't forget about the additional $30 off online coupon at jiffylube.com. Terms apply. Valid email address required. See pennzoil.com/rewards for details. Jiffy Lube, huge spring savings for you today.
We just got to stay in the fight, box out, have some technique, and stop patting the ball like I be doing and just go grab it with two hands. And, buddy, stop trying to dribble the ball I hate that.
The Drive Guys, live and local. Every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
One of my favorite Jimmy Butler stories is when he was on Philly and he made a big shot. And I think Brent Brown was the coach at the time.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I was big time. That wasn't Jimmy Butler tonight. That was James Butler." And then when they told Jimmy Butler, he said, "My name isn't James. My name is Jimmy." Poor Buddy Hield. It's Drive Guys here. NBA playoffs raging as we speak. This is one of the most incredible things to come out of the whole Luka trade fiasco. And it was today, Nico Harrison. We touched on this earlier. Maybe you've seen this. There are a number of aspects of this whole story that make you just scratch your head and go, can that be real? And this is certainly one of them, with Nico Harrison today meeting with the media and saying, I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't quite know it to what level. In other words, he didn't realize how important Luka was to the fan base. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
If it's true, he should be relieved of his duties immediately. If you have a general manager who doesn't realize, it'd be like if the Dodgers, traded Ohtani or something and said, "Wow, we knew we didn't know the fans liked him that much."
Right. Exactly. And it's not your first year there, Nico. You've been there for a few years now. And damn, he just led you to the NBA Finals last season.
Yeah. He's just delusional. We feel that's a championship caliber team, and we would have been winning at a high level, and that would have quieted some of the outrage, he said. And so, unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, so it just continued to go on and on. In other words, if Kyrie hadn't gotten hurt, we'd have been fine, and this wouldn't have been such a big deal. And if he believes that, he still doesn't understand how any of this works.
Yeah. And if you're the Mavs organization, this guy is the face of your franchise, going out there, and every time he has a press conference or he botches it. And it's one of those things where it's like, Nico, just shut up. You said enough. We get it.
Yeah.
You're digging yourself a bigger ditch.
Mm-hmm. And there was a story, I think, in ESPN. There was a story somewhere that the press conference he had last Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, when he didn't take questions. Apparently, he didn't want to have that. It was kind of like a closed-door press conference. And the story is that Nico didn't want to do that, but ownership made him do it. And ownership made him do it because ownership feels like, you didn't tell us it was going to be this bad. And so they're unhappy.
Then why'd they do another one today? Like, I just don't. If you did last week, is this like the end of season one today, I guess?
Yes, it was exactly that. Yes. His season-ending news conference 6 days after a session with a smaller group of reporters that the club tried to call to try to move on. So the one last week was like PR orchestrated, we'll do this and maybe we can get beyond this. And then today was just, you're kind of obligated to do that. But if they lose, does that ease any of the embarrassment or any of the pressure on him?
What, if Lakers lose?
If the Lakers are out, yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Yeah, I guess.
But if they win, it gets worse.
Lakers can go 0-82, and Mavs fans would be like, "We still love Luka. Like, he should have never been traded." Like, it's no matter what, because Mavs fans know what they had in Luka.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be different if they weren't sure or he hadn't proven himself yet or something like that. But man, you had a generational talent. Could have been one of the all-time greats who just led you to the NBA Finals in his sixth year? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like 7th year. Like, he's been first team all NBA 5 years coming into this season. Like, you don't get rid of guys like that.
Right.
It's like trading Jordan in '89 or something like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. For Mutombo.
Yeah. Good player.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there's an interesting story here. Tim McMahon wrote it. He hinted at some of it with us last week.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Casey Smith, who is Dallas's director of health and performance. And Luka is very close to him, but apparently Nico was threatened by this guy and they fired him unceremoniously when his mother was ill. And that really increased the size of the divide between Nico and Luka and Luka's camp. Yeah. just drove a wedge even further between them. One of the things that led in a roundabout way to Nico deciding, yeah, we're moving off of Luka. Someone needs to sit down with him and make sure he's okay. Why would you do that? What's anything going on?
Right.
How could you be that clueless and misread the situation that badly?
Do you think, because he was at the game the other day, do you think Nico should just crawl under a rock and lay low for a month or something like that? Like, he was at the Memphis game, Dallas, Memphis, out there. And I'm like, you probably shouldn't have your face, like, I don't know.
It's a no-win, isn't it?
Yeah. Then it's like you're hiding.
Then it's an admission that you screwed up. But if you're out there, everyone will remind you of it. It's a no-win. I just wonder how seriously they are considering moving on from him, because he's becoming a liability now.
He is now. Yeah. And you got the draft coming up, free agency. Like, is this the guy you want leading your charge?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and does that reflect on ownership if they keep him too,
Yeah. And there's issues with their athletic trainers. Derek Lively was listed as questionable on January 20th because of a right ankle sprain. He sat out the previous 2 games. He went through an intense return-to-play workout before sitting out again that night. He was going to play at home 2 nights later, and then somebody else on the staff was, worried about it, so they did a CT scan, and they found out he had a stress fracture.
Ooh, he was about to play.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's cleared to play. So just a lot of dysfunction there.
And that's a GM job also. President of basketball ops, your medical staff too. You take care of. And so, it sounds like they need to hit the reset button on that front office right now.
And apparently the 2 people that disagreed on that, according to 10 team sources, there was a loud, heated confrontation between them that began in the trainer's room at the practice facility and continued into the weight room. So it was just a year of everybody in the NBA being angry at everybody else. A lot of that.
A lot of drama out there. Like Memphis, us.
Yes.
Obviously Dallas. Who else fired their coach? Just
Phoenix.
They had some issues. Who else fired their coach right before? Memphis and Denver. Michael Malone.
Right.
I forgot about Denver. Yeah, it's an awkward season, man. So the pressure is on a lot of people. It's like you got to build a winner.
And we hopefully will be hearing from Scott Perry as soon as Wednesday.
Right.
We still don't know why it's taking so long. And maybe that's nothing. Maybe it's a formality. Maybe it's just a matter of, it's better if we wait and do everything on that day, PR-wise. Maybe there's something else coming that they want to line up so they can announce them both at the same time. Call me crazy, but I'm somewhat enthusiastic about Scott Perry because it sounds like, it doesn't sound like it. If you look at his resume, he's a very well-established, solid basketball person. He's not flawless. All the decisions he's made haven't been perfect, but he knows what he's doing. He's competent and he's respected.
Right. And if I'm him, I need a 5-year contract. I need something, lockstep, lock your key.
Yeah.
Where I'm around, because it's going to take some time to turn it around. And, just because the team goes on a 3-game losing streak or something next season, I don't want, management to blow it up or the organization to blow it up. Like, if I'm Scott, I preach patience to Vivek. I preach patience to the ownership group. Like, I'm being brought here to turn you into a winner. It's going to take a good 3 seasons, I think, before we really get to, close to where we want to be.
Mm-hmm. My hope is, I know a lot of fans worry about the amount of involvement from Vivek. I know that was a big topic on Dave's show today. My hope is that Scott Perry has the gravitas to come into the situation and say, if you want to run things, that's fine, but I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
You want to run, that's your team. You can do whatever you want. But if you're bringing me in, I need this and this and this, and I need these assurances. So fingers crossed that a basketball person will be running basketball ops going forward.
Right. And that's something you say, before you even accept the job, it's, and I'm hoping Scott Perry at this stage of his career and his age feels comfortable enough to say, hey, I'm hearing all these things, how things went down with Mike Brown, Monty McNair, like address that, if I'm Scott, I'm interviewing the Kings as much as they're interviewing me right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You got to convince me
Right.
that I want to be here despite all this dysfunction.
The question now is, what the hell is the holdup here? Where's the announcement? Like, how come,
Wednesday.
No, but that's the press conference. I'm looking for, hey, we've hired press conference, like announce the press conference, if you will. That's what I'm waiting on right now.
Maybe they're just milking the drama. They'll do it Wednesday, and that's when they'll announce it. Wednesday. Scott Perry's been hired. He'll be meeting with the media today.
In an hour.
Tomorrow.
Right? Press conference in an hour. Be there. Yeah, it's I'm wondering to be a fly on the wall or to have some insight of what's going on. What's the holdup?
He's going to face some very direct questions, tough questions at that.
Yeah.
Whenever it happens.
Right.
Some of it he'll be able to say, I wasn't here then. I don't know about that. I wasn't even working for the team.
Right.
But as far as going forward, he's going to have to do a lot of dancing, right? Because are you going to trade Domas? What's going on? And he'll have to answer them in a way that doesn't compromise any of his leverage if he potentially wants to move any of those guys.
And whatever he says will be used against him throughout the season. You know what I mean? It's like, on April 17th or 25th or whatever date it's going to be, Scott said this. And so you think, this guy's safe. And then if he does, trade that person, how does he look? And he
will have to answer the Zach LaVine question, right?
Got to, right?
You said this November
That's
23.
out there. That's out there. Who's going to ask that question? Who's the our boy Tony Ray? Who's your guess on that?
Oh, we should take odds. We should have
odds on that one.
Yeah. I think so. I was talking to Brendan.
Might be me.
Might be Jay.
Okay.
I don't mind doing it.
Okay,
I don't either.
Okay. All right.
We just have to find out when it is. If it's at 11,
we can be there. It's at 1:32. I say we go broadcast live from down there. Make it happen.
Yeah.
And then once he's done, get him on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll have him do a couple hours and then we'll go.
No, right. Hey, we need you to fill in for us today. You got it.
You and Jay can do it. Hopefully the beginning of a new era of Kings basketball. We've said that before, but here we are. I think at the very least, it looks like they have the right person.
Real quick,
in charge.
Real quick before we get to break. I got a text. Your boy Bonte's at it again.
There we go.
I said to Bonte and Mullen, I see how it is. Win one game and you guys act like you won the Larry O'Brien trophy. And Chris Mullen said, again. And then Bonte says, do us a solid and hand over Keegan, Drapes. He wants Keegan Murray out there in Golden State. I can't get rid of these guys. I mean, what should I say back? What should I say back to that?
I don't know, but mentioning the O'Brien trophy, you kind of walked into that.
I know, I did that on purpose. I did. That era is over. They're done. They're toast.
That run is over.
Exactly. Thank you, Charles.
Buddy, stop driveling.
Oh, man.
I hate it when you do that. Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz is next on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, Athletics, and Republic FC with the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit sacktownsports.com to join.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
Oh, wow, honey, I love it. It's so beautiful and so sparkly.
Just like you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
I'll wear it every day. It goes with everything.
This Mother's Day, wow Mom with spirit-lifting, outfit-making, express your love jewelry. Shop jtv.com/mom for wow-worthy and budget-friendly styles.
I'm never taking it off.
Another wow factor? Sign up for JTV Text and get $30 off. If she loves jewelry, she'll love JTV.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Our guy, Jeffrey Simpton, continues to come after Scott Perry. Says Perry was with Sack when they passed on Donovan Mitchell, accumulated a couple extra first rounders, and passed on DeJounte Murray 3 times. So there's one guy who's not a big Scott Perry fan.
What's he talking about? I don't.
Donovan Mitchell, when Donovan Mitchell was available in the draft. When he first said,
That's when we drafted De'Aaron Fox, right?
2017.
Yeah, that was 2017 when Scott Perry was here. So,
so that was a pretty good pick.
Yeah. I think he got that one right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he certainly did.
Yeah.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Edward has been hanging on. Edward, you're on with the Drive Guys. Hello, what's up?
Hello, guys. By the way, that Donovan Mitchell pick, I think that was the second pick that they had in the round. They took Fox at 5, and they traded away 10 for 15 and 20 and passed on to Mitchell.
Oh, that was Zach Collins. It ended up being Harry Giles, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And,
that was that one. Okay.
And Justin Jackson? I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, Justin Jackson.
Anyway, I heard Drape saying casually, as though it were a fact, that Perry will get a 5-year deal. And I thought,
stop. Sorry, I didn't say that. I said if I was Scott Perry, I would want a 5-year deal.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, I agree with you.
Okay.
In fact, I think as fans, we should take a stand here and say, enough of this, Vivek. Give him a 5-year deal. You don't do it normally. You give him 3 years. But give this guy 5 years. He's 61. This is going to probably be his last job. He's not going to have a first-round pick the first year. So give him some time. Give him a 5-year deal. And he won't want to, but I think if everybody starts emailing him, give him a 5-year deal, maybe he'll see that people are mad. Anyway.
Okay. All right, Edward.
All right. No, I'm with you.
Thank you for your time and for your clarification there. Email campaign, 5 years for Scott
5 years. Sign him up, right? Sign him up.
Sounds like he's probably got most of the leverage in this. It's hard to know, but sounds like they really want him.
Right.
And the fact that he works well with the team, that cuts both ways. They want somebody that they know that will work with them and knows the quirks of the organization and how it all comes together. It's going to be a really interesting offseason, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I mean, Scott's the guy. I mean, he's the guy that's going to lead us forward. And, the good thing about him, and we had Vincent Goodwill on last week, he's an old school basketball guy. It's not all about analytics or anything like that. It's about talent evaluation, not what the computers are telling you what to do, and so hopefully he gets this right, man. I'm excited for this new year.
Gavin in the chat, so let's do the right thing for once and just get young, lose for a few years, build this the right way. I'd rather lose with a plan than lose because we're delusional. It's just not going to happen, Gavin. You may be right. Maybe that is the best way, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Like if we had some success over the last 20 years, I could see that. But we were so starved and we got a little bit of a taste. Now to tell the fan base, it's going to be another 3 to 5 years before we. Nah. And you got we mentioned it from a business. Like Doco would then become empty. The Sawyer Hotel, not sold out as much. It's so many ramifications from a tanking team.
I will say, if I remember right, because, I've been looking up Scott Perry and doing some digging. I think when he first took over the Knicks, I think they had a couple of years there in the 20s in wins when he first got there.
Yeah.
So
what years was he there? Do you know offhand?
Well, he left here in
17.
Then he got out of there at 20, right?
Yeah. New York Knicks. Yeah, because he went there in 2017. And so that franchise was rough. Like I'm looking at it here, Whitey. The year before he went there, it was rough.
Yeah.
31-51, then 29-53, then 17-65, 21-45, and then they finally started 41-31. That was the COVID shortened season. 37-45, and he left in what, 23?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check, but
Yeah.
I know I looked that up earlier. We were talking about that. So he was not averse to a start over kind of rebuild when he was there.
Right. And it took some time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that rebuild, and I'll say this, and it pertains sort of to us as well as Sacramento Kings. The rebuild really didn't take off. Like he had Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, you got Quentin Grimes quickly, Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein. But until you got the one guy to bring it all together, Jalen Brunson, that's when it took off, Whitey.
Yeah.
And so
he was fired, by the way, to answer your question. This is a story, May 31st, 2023.
There it is.
And they had won 47 games, 10 more than the year before.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's you can, like, he had some pieces. Randall was a piece. RJ Barrett was a piece. Quickly, Mitchell Robinson, like that Knicks team. And then they got Jalen Brunson, and that's when they really became decent, respectable in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, he definitely took them from laughing stock to respectability.
Right.
If he could do that here, statue time.
Statue, yes.
Piglet, move over for the statue of Scott Perry. Brings us to Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz for this April the 21st. It's brought to you by Lee's Air, Plumbing, and Heating. If you would help me with something, Drapes, I just need a number. There's no right or wrong answer between 1 and 6, and it doesn't affect your score. 4. Thank you. That will make that question the tiebreaker, since we kind of went over one of the questions earlier. So that will be the tiebreaker question. If we have a tie, whoever gets that right would get the decision. So you did not win your last match, but I think you won the last time you played Jay.
Yeah, it was Jay. I did.
Yeah. So are you still the reigning champion?
Of course I am. Of course I am. You can't, dude. Facing Imran was like preseason exhibition. That wasn't for real. That didn't count.
Here's what we have for you today, players. Everything happened on this date or is related to things that happened on this date in these years: 1898, 1991, 1994, 1996, 2018, and this date what year in baseball weather? So it's 1898, 91, 94, 96, 2018, this date what year in baseball weather? Where you want to start?
You said 2018?
I did.
Yeah, let me get that one.
All right. This day, 2018, who throws a no-hitter for the A's against the Red Sox? Sean Manaea, Mike Fiers, or Dallas Braden?
Dallas Braden.
Dallas Braden's not correct. Over to Jay.
shoot.
For the
Sean
steal.
Manaea.
Sean Manaea's right.
Oh, I missed that one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a cheap question, though. That's Jay's favorite team. That's weak.
Dallas Braden's no-hitter was like 2010.
Yeah, it's OG.
I know. I just knew he threw one, so I just guessed him.
Perfect game.
Yeah. All right, Jay, you got the 1-0 lead. 1898, 1991, 1994, 1996. This state what year in MLB weather?
1996. Mike Piazza.
1996 is a closest to.
Let Drapes go first.
Okay, and this is the tiebreaker question. So if you guys tie, whoever gets this right.
Oh, that's how you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you're going first, Drapes?
Yeah.
This day, 1996. The Bulls win their 72nd game of the season, a record that would stand until Steve Kerr's Warriors won 73 in 2016. What was Steve Kerr's three-point field goal percentage for the 95-96 Bulls? The team that won 72 games.
That's a good question.
He would go on to coach the Warrior team.
40.4%.
40.4%. Jay?
40.5%.
515.
Damn.
515.
That's crazy. Shoot.
Yeah.
I was going to guess 45, but man, that's shooting it.
I think that's one of the years where they moved the line in.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I forgot.
How many shots did he take? 20?
I have to look. But yeah, I think they moved the line in to 22 that year, something like that. Jay has a 2-0 lead. You're up, Drapes.
Right.
Yeah.
What's our years?
1898, 1991, 1994. This state, what year in MLB weather?
94.
1994. It's the closest to.
Jay goes.
Jay, Eddie Murray sets a record for most times homering from both sides of the plate the same game. The current record is shared by Mark Teixeira and Nick Swisher with how many? How many times did they homer from each side of the plate in the same game? They share the record.
In the season, correct?
In the season?
Yeah, in the season.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Actually, no, not a season, career.
Oh, career.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for a career.
Oh, no, that
Most
changes
times.
my.
Yeah. Eddie Murray set the record. It's been broken in the current record.
So, meaning they've done it twice in a game, but then how many times have they done it?
How many
has it
times have
occurred?
they homered from the left side and the right side of the plate in the same game?
Same game.
Okay.
Ooh. Man, I'm going to say 9.
9. Kyle Draper.
Ooh, that's a
Nick
good one.
Swisher, Mark Teixeira, homering from the left side and right side of the plate in the same game. How many
Both
times?
of them doing that?
They both have the same. They didn't do it in the same game, but they
Right.
both did it the same number of times.
Amount of times through their career.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm confused by the question.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. I
Yeah.
got what you're saying, but yeah, I got what you're saying.
All right, one more time.
Eddie Murray set the record on this date, most times homering from the left side and the right side in a game.
Okay.
He had the record. Both
For
these
his career.
Guys,
Yeah.
Both these guys share the record now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that they both.
How
All
many
right,
times?
all right.
It could have been.
I'm going to go
more.
10.
10. The answer is 14.
Dang.
Yeah, 14.
Dang.
2-1. Oh, Jay, is the clock running
No,
out?
he said 57, right?
6:30.
6:30. Let's
yeah.
go. That's the last question. He's stalling over here. I see it, Whitey. I'm done. I see how it is. He's stalling.
I think we have to give the victory to Jay today.
That's fine.
Give me the last
that's
question.
fine.
Throw one out in the air. 1891 or whatever. I was interested in
1898.
that one. 98.
Bill Duggleby does something that no one else in baseball would do for 107 years. What was it? Grand slam in his first at-bat. Hit into 2 triple plays in his first game, or strike out looking 5 times in a game.
Ooh, the golden sombrero.
Nobody
Strike out
did it.
looking 5 times for the tie.
No, he
I
had
would
a
have said home grand slam.
Grand
Yeah, I was
slam
going to say
in his
grand
first at-bat.
slam. Yeah.
Oh,
Nobody
really?
did that
I
till
thought somebody did.
2005.
I was going to say grand slam would
Yeah.
have been mine.
Okay.
Congratulations, Jay.
Nice work, Jay.
We're back with you tomorrow. More on the ongoing Kings saga. We got Infinity Sports Radio next on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento